I can tell that the weather is changing because yesterday afternoon I was zipping around Baldwin on my 2017 Honda Ruckus that I purchased from Seminole Power Sports, and it's here. It's very close. The temperature's going to start cooling down in the afternoons.
Yep.
Perfect for zipping around on a two-wheeled vehicle.
100%. You should just go by the showroom at Seminole Power Sports. It's gigantic. They got tons of four-wheelers, dirt bikes, scooters, like Daniel said.
Cruisers, street bikes. If you want to go super fast in a straight line, they got you. If you want to be super nimble, if you want something that you can, trail ride, they got that.
Talk to Don Kuhn. He's a sales manager over there. Tell him that Tom and Dan sent you. But I was looking through SeminolePowersports.com. There's also Seminole Power Sports North. That's in Eustis. They got Suzuki up there.
Yes.
But they got in their pre-owned section, and anybody could just jump online and look at this. They've got tons of, I'm sure these were trade-ins. So there's side-by-sides. There's a six-seater golf cart. They're selling
all kinds of little toys.
The Can-Am Spider, that three-wheeled motorcycle.
I've always thought that we should have one of those just for the studio.
They got a Ducati. They got an Indian motorcycle. They got something called the 2002 Candy GK25G.
They got the Candy GK.
It looks like a.
That looks like a go-kart for adults.
I think off-road go-kart. Anyway,
that's dope. How much is that guy?
They've got a bunch of cool toys, and if you're looking for anything related to fun like that, side-by-sides and
reach out to Don Kuhn. He is our guy, and I've got his email. If you want to email him, you say, hey, Don, I'm looking for a Honda Grom, a great little motorcycle. He can find you one.
Generators, Yeti coolers, all the accessories, and a great service department. It's Seminole Power Sports and Seminole Power Sports North.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Sam.
I'm Tom.
And I am Dan. That's how we're doing it from now on out.
Oh, yeah.
Way better. Actually, I got a little horny. It was like having the Tool Time girl introduce me.
Tool Time?
Yeah, I went straight to Tool Time. No, I was prepared for it. I was like, oh my God, why does this feel, why am I feeling horny right now? And it's like, now it's time for everybody's favorite host, Tim the Toolman Taylor.
I can do that.
Big T's.
Kenny Samsel's here.
Tom doesn't like fun.
I was the nerd, kind of like your wife, where a lot of my friends kept calling it. It's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to watch Tool Time tonight. I'm like, no, you idiots. It's called Home Improvement. It's not called Tool Time.
My dad would call it Tool Time.
Oh no,
because it was the show within the show. It just shows how stupid he was. He was not. I mean, he was a lovely man.
Oh,
but lovely people, it's like. Slow on the uptake.
So I'm tired today, coming off the weekend.
I mean, who isn't?
Yeah, we're all kind of tired. We all went
Monday.
out. Yeah, I went out over the weekend. I'm a little tired. You're a little tired. But the chat room, you read it on your face.
Yeah.
And you tried to throw us off. We also, have an amazing pompadour today. Like your hair.
When Tom is sick or tired, his voice goes 2 octaves lower. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah, he comes in there and he's like
big.
I'm like, hey,
chocolate.
Man. Hey, what's up, dog? Hey, dog.
What happens?
Let me tell you about this gambling.
That sounds just like him.
I went to my buddy the Wizard's house over the weekend because Turkey Leg came up from Miami.
Hey, what's up, dog?
We all stayed at his house because
How many bedrooms?
He has 4 bedrooms, I believe.
Mm-hmm. How many kids does he have? 2?
Oh, God, too many. Everybody there,
3.
they have a lot.
And then you brought your entire family, and Turkey Leg brought his entire family, and you're all staying at his home.
And then the Wizard, he has multiple little wizards, too. I mean, it's a lot of kids.
It's like a Home Alone McAllister situation.
It really is.
Yeah. Not that big of a house.
Yeah.
There were 7 kids in the house. Most of them slept in just one bedroom.
It's like an escape room for me.
On the floor, like animals.
Yeah, like animals.
But
feral children.
Me and Crystal slept in the
your
Wizard's
goal is to
daughter's
become
room.
fancy. This is anti-fancy. Sleeping over with your entire family to a friend, quote, buddy's house, that is the opposite of fancy, my friend.
The problem is that we're all, we're
all in this together.
We all want the kids to...
They want their kids to have the same relationship that they have with each other, so they're forcing their families to be together for absorbent amounts of time in the idea that their kids will all have the same relationship and grow up as another version of what they've already had.
It's the cycle of codependency.
It's not a bad idea, and in theory, it sounds really fun and cool. I was actually thinking about that because I was thinking about how my daughter doesn't know any of my friends' kids. I've thought about
Well,
this.
they know Max and Tommy.
Well, they know
Yeah.
Max and Tommy, but like that's it. Like they
No, he
don't.
doesn't
like,
consider you a friend.
Like that. No, I do, but like I didn't grow up with Tom. Right? He's like a newer old friend. Like Dave. Like Dave has a son
Yeah,
now.
like childhood friend.
Right, like a childhood friend. Like Dave, my best friend Dave growing up, Jeremy would have been in there, Rob. I've got like these different people that were my buddies, but I don't know any of their kids because they all moved away.
Yeah, it
You
lives
know.
in California.
Yeah, like but so you're lucky that you have that. I think it's cool what you guys are attempting to do.
Well, we're not even thinking about that. We just, at this point, my Miami friends are like family, and I even tell my sons, I'm like, this is your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might as well be cousins. Anyway, the point being, I'm fine with staying at people's houses, or at least my friends' houses. I just need a better bed, and I need a mobile bed. And I know they make like we have camping air
You
mattresses,
shouldn't bring
but
your own,
those
though.
are horrible.
It should be up to the guest. It should be up to the host to provide.
No, he don't
you.
care. He don't care.
Yeah, but he should. If he were a good host, he would provide you.
He's like
like,
sleep
you get
wherever
what you get, you know.
He's,
Okay,
he's,
all right.
he's like sleep wherever, whatever, whatever you want.
Whenever.
But
That's a good ass song.
That's a good song.
do they make a really comfortable, high quality air mattress?
It's made by the company Aero. Yeah.
But is it good, or is
No.
it like every other air
No,
mattress?
they're all look.
It's just
at the
going
end
to
of the
deflate.
day, at
all
the
air,
end of
yeah.
the day, it's an air mattress.
I'm surprised they don't have one of those where it's kind of like memory foam, but you know how you can put it in a plastic bag and vacuum seal it, make it like, 10
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
smaller? I'm surprised they don't have one of those that you can take with you, and then when you unzip it, it folds
I'm
out
sure
to
they
a normal
do,
mattress.
but like again, my point is, at the end of the day, you're sleeping on a camping mattress. It's
Yeah.
not going to be good.
Yeah,
You need like a bed. Like he should have like a nice bed that you can sleep in. Like a guest bedroom, something like that.
Well, he's got too many kids, so we have to sleep in the kids' bedroom. But they were knocking toys off.
That can be problematic.
And his wife's
You got to bring an RV then.
His wife's
You bring an RV and park it out front. That's what we did.
the RV. I've been telling him to buy an RV, and then we'll just stay in the guest RV.
Just get a hotel
yeah.
room.
No.
Well, we
But
want to
that
stay
kills the
together.
whole- you heard
But if
the
you're going to
man.
sleep in an RV, what's the damn difference?
You heard the man. That's their family. And when
You're gonna sleep in
family's
his
in
driveway?
town,
What's?
no.
Well,
We're not
it's-
You
letting
guys are insane.
No, they're doing that move like, no, we're not letting you sleep at a hotel.
Right.
When family's in town, you sleep with family.
But now we're
Yeah.
going to an RV, so then
it
you're
also
not
allows you
sleeping
to
in family.
bother them. I think that's the thing. He wants to be able to be within like arm's reach of them.
Not even they wouldn't. Also, it's Satellite Beach.
I don't think there's hotels there.
there is like a hotel somewhere, but
The
I'm
mattress might be worse than the air mattress at
Well,
hotel in Satellite Beach. I
no,
don't know about.
going to be expensive as hell. It'd
What
be,
I don't know the area. Like I don't know.
but
Like
beachside hotels anywhere in Florida are going to be.
what do they got? They got a Holiday Inn. They got a
$390.
You could probably like
Hampton.
Airbnb a condo that's on the beach as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, but that's a crazy expensive too. I spend $800.
So you want to spend like $80 for a mattress and be done.
Yeah.
Arrow.
You're king. Throw money at it. Now all of a sudden, when it's staying over your friend's house, you're like, no, too expensive.
But he likes.
Well, I mean,
he does like to
my
be there.
friends
The drinks and the party.
and we're staying at his house because he's walking distance from the beach.
Yeah, there you
so
go. But if you get a
it's
hotel
nicer.
on the beach, even better.
right.
Too expensive. I don't have an unlimited money.
Arrow.
I
Then
waste
get the-
a lot of money, and I'm about to. I have this whole theory about that I'm going to start wasting more money because
Okay.
to counteract. Okay, follow me here.
Oh man.
Well,
As
we're still
people-
talking about it's Arrow.
No,
is the
yeah,
company.
yeah.
My mom had one. It's great,
As people get older,
but
right,
it's still an air mattress.
you become a little more safer. You start worrying about like your retirement and stuff like that.
I've
you
never
know?
worried about that.
And Andrea does for you. It's fine.
Yeah, I've never worried about retiring. I never even think about like there'll be a time when I don't do something.
No. I think the old myth of retirement, I think, is the myth that you just stop doing everything and just sit on the beach. Like, it's boring. You have to do something to occupy your time. So I look at retirement as just transitioning to working less or working on something you're only interested in. Like you're no longer doing anything just for money, right?
Okay, yeah.
So you're just doing what you want to do.
I'm pretty close.
As retirement,
Pretty
right?
close.
Anyway, but as people get old, I saw this happen with my pop, and I see what happened with other old people in my life. They start becoming where they start hoarding money, and then
No, I don't do that.
Then you die with money in the bank, right? And then so it's like, why did you die with money in the bank? And unless your whole purpose was to pass the money along to somebody, but if that's not your purpose, what do you do? Like, you should spend the money you have.
Now you get it.
Now
You understand.
I mean, it's hard to get close to even when you die, but you shouldn't die with hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. If we're, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't need to, die.
Who are you talking to? I don't plan to do this.
I know, but
You must be talking to my wife. I do not plan to give Maisie anything. She's completely capable. She's proved it to me.
Well, Maisie will get. Well,
yeah,
got
there'll be
property.
I'll have some
and
assets she'll get.
You know, you got your you got your insurance and all. Like, she'll be fine.
Yeah, she'll get something.
But I'm just saying, like, and even no one dies with zero in the bank. I mean, some people do if you have no money.
Negative.
But I'm saying, if you were successful and then you spent all your every last cent before you died, that's hard to do. But I'm just saying, there'll be something. It's just like people die with a lot of money.
Then you should buy the RV.
I'm thinking about what way to waste my money before I die. Because I see the ending.
Because if you guys are going to go there a lot, and it looks like you probably are, because it looks like they're there to stay, at least for a while, then you could have the RV and you could pull it out front of their spot, plug in, you're good to go. You got your own bed, you got your own
I'd rather
food.
get the hotel for that. Because then that's the RV is $25,000.
Arrow mattress.
That's
$80.
what I'm saying.
$80.
Just give me
Arrow.
Arrow. Arrow. I'm writing
still
down.
an air mattress, though.
Yeah. But
and you're going to need two of them. Everybody's going to need their own.
There's according to Forbes, the number one best air mattress overall is the Serta air mattress with never flat pump.
Never flat pump. What?
Like, okay, now we're talking.
Now we're talking. We're on
the
Forbes.
never flat pump.
$110.
All right, see, that's
I can get an Amazon to your house right now.
More expensive than the Arrow.
Yeah, but if
The Arrow's easy to fold.
If
I
it's-
don't know about this Serta. Never pump, or what is it? Ever pump?
The never flat pump was
never flat
what the
pump.
ladies called me in college.
Yeah, it's a never flat pump. over here.
Also, there is an element of I start day drinking when I'm hanging out with my friends, and that hurt me good. And I
well,
can't.
if you think an air mattress is bad when you're not drunk, just wait.
Yeah,
I thought you were going the P route, and you have to buy like 5 of these in order to keep replacing them.
No, it's
They're
an
vinyl.
air mattress.
Mattress
They're
protector
vinyl.
on
They're
it.
vinyl.
Yeah, they're soaking in. It's an
You
air
ever
mattress.
see Nuru porn? You just rinse that stuff off. It's fine.
Yeah, but it's like you go to the beach, and then what happens to me is like I've learned my lesson with day drinking because it hurts me too much the next day. Like, and I can't be responsible and like have a couple White Claws and then stop for a long enough period.
One in the sun is 5 in the sun.
Like, yeah. When you start at 1 o'clock and then it just continues on to the nighttime, and then it's like, well, I've had 14 and a half White Claws, and then that poisons me the next day where I don't sleep through the night. I woke up, it's this perpetual thing.
Yeah, you won't get good quality sleep.
And so that's what and then when my friends start drinking, I can't stop myself. I have
that's
to
a
join
problem.
them. Yeah. Well, because they
It's that
start
circle
wait a
of
minute.
codependency that Kenny was talking about.
When I go over to your barbecues and I start at 10 a.m. or whatever, you will not join me, sir. And I beg you to.
Yeah, over my house is different. When I'm at the beach.
When he's the guest, all bets are off.
Okay, that makes sense.
It feels like a vacation.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Any time where it feels like a vacation in some sort, even though this is not a vacation, it's really just me
It
hanging out
kind
at my
of is,
friend's house.
though.
Yeah, but I was like outside of my house, staying at someone else, and then I just
It's a weekend getaway.
Yeah, it just gets me. It's like, I mean, it's true. Like as you get older, it's like, man,
Well, recovery is harder. When
It's
you're older.
hard to
It
recover.
takes me, the last hangover I had, I think it took me maybe 3 days to get back to normal. You know, like that. And it was like the first day I was just like completely out of it. You know, just like everything was a task. The next day you're like still recovering. Then that next day you're like, okay, now I'm back to normal. It's like, okay, I got energy level is still high. I can work out again.
I'm really looking forward to that first White Claw tonight. I feel like
I'll break you up one right
dude,
now.
if
I don't
you
even
had one
know.
right now, it would make
Come
you feel
on.
better.
Yeah, if I have one.
Yeah, I'm fixing to learn ya.
next thing you know, I'm drinking hot White
It's a
Claw.
wacky Monday.
No, just do it.
That's hidden underneath my bathroom sink around my wife just to keep
You're
my
drinking NyQuil.
just to brush my teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
just do one.
Sorry,
Hey, Kenny's here, everybody.
Hey.
Speaking of alcoholics,
Not
Kenny's here.
to, not to backtrack, I could have gone my whole life never of hearing Fixin' to
How
Learn Ya.
dare you,
and
sir?
it could have like
That
left
is
my
an
brain.
American classic.
Well, I know the regular song. I know the regular. If you want a deal, that's great. Hey guys, how's it going?
So, Kenny, what's been going on with you?
So, yeah, since I was last here, I've been traveling for shows and stuff. I've spent more time in hotel rooms than I have in my own bed this past month.
Oh,
And
so
it's
is Tom,
been
but his
exhausting.
little kid.
He's sleeping in a toddler's
Yeah.
bed.
You know, it's there's a thing about hotel rooms too that I noticed where I used to like it was so fancy for me to stay at a hotel. I would stay at a hotel room at any time, right? Staying in a hotel room to me was like you were on vacation.
I enjoyed the change of scenery.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so
Even if it's like, if it were
the
next door
standard.
to my house, if there were a hotel and they're like, hey, you have a free room here for the night, I would be tempted.
No, well, but that's what changed with me. Where as I started making more money, my house and my bedroom, my bed, everything about my house, it got better than the standard hotel room. Now there's better hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Like you go to the Ritz,
Yeah.
I'd rather, you know what I'm saying? But like the Quinta or
But
like
still, less clutter.
you know,
I like that. I like walking in and it's clean. You know, like I walk in, there's no clutter, there's no blankets everywhere, there's no period panties on the ground.
But if someone offered me a free hotel room stay when I lived in Heroin Alley, I would take it at any time, even if it was local La Quinta. Like it was like, hey, stay at La Quinta for free. I'd drive over to Colonial and stay in the La Quinta because I'd be like, fire. Now I'd be like, hell no, get that. I don't want to stay there. You know, if it was in a destination I was at, you know, I don't care. But I'm saying like just staying in a hotel room is no longer a
I still
treat
like it.
to me.
Yeah, I like
The
the change of
basic
scenery.
ones. Oh, yeah.
Even if it's a basic one, to me, it's an adventure. It's different.
So the people that stay at hotel rooms for travel and for business get tired of it. So
I do. I will. I was fortunate enough. I was working out in Vegas, and they put me up at the Bellagio, so I was actually able to stay there.
Can you opt to stay at like an Airbnb, or you have to stay at a hotel?
Because the client's typically paying for it, I have to stay at the hotel because they
Gotcha.
have free rooms there.
Yeah.
Because the event is happening at that hotel,
Gotcha.
so they get a bunch of comped rooms.
and they give
to
them
do
to
that.
the people that
To the
are
production.
The help.
subcontract,
Yeah. So I will say, so I was in Vegas, and it was for a national gay and lesbian corporate whatever. A lot of trans people hit on me.
Really?
I was very flattered by
Well,
that.
you're trans, right?
I mean, we can prove that maybe when the
Hey, no, I'm joking.
No, but it was weird because
I like it when anybody hits on me.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, but what was weird was
I could see.
Well, not my family.
But
If my that would be
typical
weird.
gay people didn't hit on me. It was primarily trans guys transitioning to women that were hitting on me. It was like a specific subset.
I see it now. It's like you kind of have a
Transitional look to you.
your beard, and
Yeah.
this is coming from a guy who can't grow a beard, but your beard is
looks-
a little
it's a
trans.
half-hearted beard.
Okay.
Your
I
beard
get
looks
that.
like it's not
Like
trying
you
hard
could
enough.
formerly be a woman, and you took testosterone.
You look
and then-
like a bearded woman, is what Thomas said.
So you're
Thomas
saying-
yeah.
I'm the
The man that wants the blow-up mattress says that you look like a bearded woman. That's what I heard.
I'm the Chaz
That's coming
Bono.
from mattress man Tom.
I'm the Chaz Bono of the mediocre. But when I was in Vegas,
I'm not Dave Chappelle. I gotta deal with that ass.
so you know how when you walk up and down the strip, there's always guys that are like, "Oh yeah, come to the strip club," you know,
Yeah.
getting a limo and stuff. I'm hearing all the same stuff. It's like, "Oh, don't be lonely tonight." This one guy, his sales pitch was very unique. He goes, "All right, guys, nice and warm tees, nice and warm tees. They're nice and warm for you. You want them nice and warm, nice and
T-shirts
warm."
or boobs?
Boobs, but I'm saying tees because
He's blatantly advertising that you can touch their breasts.
But he's calling them nice and warm. I'm like, I didn't think temperature was ever the compelling factor.
you know, it wasn't
Weird.
until he said it, and now that he said it, I'm like,
And now I'm
wow.
questioning him, like, have I been getting cold teas the last few times?
Well, how would they be cold? Their
Well,
body temperature, right?
if they got Raynaud's disease,
That's
you
true.
know, your
But-
circulation's bad.
But he was really focusing on it.
if
like,
they're purple, their circulation's bad. You want them pink.
when he's approaching them, he was like really pushing the nice and warm part.
Was it cold out?
I didn't know it was actually
August to Vegas.
I'm looking for anything. I'm looking for anything.
Although it was flooding like crazy the week before. I don't know if you guys saw like the videos, like one of the casinos, water was just like flooding in through their sports book.
I saw that. Yeah. It was coming. Yeah. Like they
Through the LED walls.
Yeah, when they do get rain, it doesn't absorb into the ground. There's nowhere for it to go because they never
Right.
get it, so they're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
Same thing with like
They need to dig a French drain. You could teach them a thing or three about that.
you would think with when they build the hotel, they would have some sort of storm drain system, which they probably do. It's clogged.
I mean, Vegas.
If you never get rain,
I don't understand why people enjoy Vegas, nor do I understand why people live in Vegas. Last time you and I were there, we got attacked by a sandstorm. I don't think you should live in places where you get weird storms like that. That's just weird.
Or get hurricanes here. It's probably they look at the same way. It's
I mean,
like,
well, a
this
hurricane,
one time.
at least it has water that can, like, the water will benefit the plants. The sand, who is that benefiting? Well, you and I sat outside a Subway and there's sand blowing around. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
But it's like they have to deal with the sandstorm and then one torrential downpour and then 2 weeks out of the year where it's 110 and then the rest is just the same, right? It's kind of like California weather where it's just all the same all the time and then fires and then every once in a while extreme drought and then the rest of the time it's the same.
Well, the benefit of at least being on the Strip is that there's so many buildings that it's all shade all the time. So even if it is 110 degrees outside, it's all in the shade when you're walking
I'll
up and down.
disagree. I mean, it's been a few years since I went to Vegas, but it was July and it was miserable.
Oh.
And there was no shade.
Yeah, I forget when we were there last. That's
It was just
that's the last
hot
time
asphalt.
I've been. And
And it was
just
that,
depressing.
5 years ago.
Yeah, it was just sad. Longer than that.
Yeah. It was
Like
before
7 or 8
kids.
years ago.
Yeah, it must have been 9.
It was sad though. I mean, everything looked brown and
Yeah.
gross and just
Gross,
sad.
dirty,
And
hot.
People love it though. I mean, there are
Yeah.
people like Josh Wolf. He
Yeah.
lives there, and people love it. You know,
I can see the appeal of it. If you avoid all the strip and tourist areas, I can see the appeal. It's very open. You're left alone.
Well, people say the same thing about Orlando. Like, I'm sure if you live in Vegas, they're like, well, we don't go to the damn strip all the time and gamble. You know what I'm saying? We're just a regular town. Same thing with us. It's like, oh, you live in Orlando, you live in Disney World. Like, you go to Disney
you live
World.
in 1792 in Kissimmee. No.
I drive.
It had been a minute since I'd gone down I Drive at night. And the
All
number,
lights.
I enjoyed the lights. I'm going to give you positives. I enjoyed the lights, but there are a ton of restaurants that I have no idea what they are. Like chain restaurants. I mean, like places that have like 40 to 80 locations across the globe, and we have one of them, and I've never heard of it. Like one of them was like Salt House Steakhouse. Or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it was like all neon. And I'm like, what is that? I Googled it, and it's like 50 locations across it. And I'm like, all right, we got one of the Uncle Julio's. That's another one. I'm like, what the hell is that?
I had
It's
no
a
idea
chain,
Tony-
75 different locations. It's like a Chewy's.
I had no idea Tony Roma's even still existed.
Yeah,
and then I saw one on I
Yeah,
Drive.
Sizzler.
Yeah.
There's a Sizzler out
Oh,
there.
sick.
They brought up
Tony-
Fazoli's back.
Tony Romo's used to Tony Romo's Tony Roma's used to be big in Orlando. I want to say like 30 years ago, back when I got hired. That was the first place I went to eat with Ed Till, broadcaster
Yes.
Ed Till. He took me to Tony Roma's, and I thought I was like, oh, this is really nice. He's taking me to a
Damn,
nice
Dennis.
place. The only reason he took me to Tony Roma's is because at the end of the meal, he paid with a bunch of gift cards. Cheapo.
We had our.
Let me
Cheap,
take you
man.
to this place of ribs.
We had our.
Dan Dennis is eating at Tony Roma's.
Me and Crystal had our rehearsal dinner at Tony Roma's in Miami.
Really? Great place for vegetarians to have their rehearsal dinner at literally nothing but dead pigs everywhere.
Hey, well, it was for the family.
Oh, man.
She's the only vegetarian. Her mom and sister, and
I
everybody
love
else
some ribs, though.
makes fun of her. Everybody's hunting. Welcome back to a corporate time. So we got to do emails now.
Well, I mean,
We gotta?
Mad
I
about
mean,
it?
gotta do it?
I don't think people
Listen,
understand.
if you don't want me to, it's fine.
I think off the mic, I don't think people understand quite how mean you are, like, and how, like, you're not happy-go-lucky, you're not fun. You're angry and you yell at
No,
me
I'm
and Sam.
not.
There's a lot of yelling. Like,
He got his
Sam,
belt out during the lunch break.
Sam, walk through your normal, like, whenever you and Tom are talking, there's a lot of yelling, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No,
He puts me in my place.
But no, Sam's
I don't
not
talk to
sensitive.
anybody because I feel like you guys are pushing me out somehow. Like I feel very disconnected.
It's
from
either
the business.
absolutely silent or
Yeah.
Tom screaming.
Yeah,
it's one or the other.
It is silent when I get in here, and it makes me uncomfortable. Like, am I doing something wrong? There's literally no background music. You can't even hear the AC, and he's just in there, and you're not typing. You're just staring.
He just stares at his phone.
He stares at the money.
Well, your sensitivity radar is too
It's off.
It's too sensitive.
Yeah.
So any sort.
You got a long
I'm
brush.
done. I'm done with this. God damn it! I'm
done
done
with the show. You quit
You're
the
done
show.
with what?
Any Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi. I know I've said this, but it's giving me the loogie. I can't.
It's giving him the loogie.
You got a whole case of Diet Coke in there.
I'm throwing it all away.
No,
Well,
don't throw
other
it
people
away.
can
Give
drink
to me. Give it to me. I'll drink it.
I'll drink some other form of caffeine. Maybe
Tea.
coffee.
Go for the tea.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, too sensitive.
I know. I know.
Sam, have you ever went home and like Tom doesn't like me?
Hell no.
Yeah, but you don't care.
Well, she's known you don't like her.
Like,
No,
God,
he
I
knows
don't
it.
like Tom. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, not even that. But I'm just saying, like, if you felt that this guy doesn't like me, you've never felt that way.
No.
I felt that
Yeah.
yesterday. For a while now,
David
I've been
feels
feeling a
that way all the
disconnect.
time.
I feel a disconnect. I do. I feel like a disconnect from him sometimes.
But like, why? Why now? All of a sudden, you feel a disconnect?
It's not been now, over time. Like, over...
Oh, you
like,
think you're growing apart?
Yeah, we are.
This
I feel-
is the
I
same
can
thing my
feel it.
wife tells me all the time.
I can feel it.
Emotional people.
You
No,
attract weirdo, emotional people.
I don't know. It's just emotional
My
people
God.
don't.
You work with them. You marry them.
I'm not.
You're
giving
raising them.
I'm
Some
not
would say he
giving.
loves them.
I'm not giving them emotion back, so they think constantly something's wrong. It's just
That's,
like I
that's
haven't.
the seesaw of the relationship.
Yeah.
They're craving the attention you'll never give them.
but I
And
don't,
it's
I don't have it
tumultuous
in
for
me.
us. For those of us that are sensitive,
But
it's a
they
harder
think
road.
they think they can pull it out of you.
No,
But
I
it's
don't
not-
think
there's
I can
nothing
pull
there.
it out of
My
him.
son's
but
the same way.
I can feel like it. I'm like we're not as connected as we were earlier on when we were trying to get the train built. Now
Well, you
that
guys
the
gotta spend
train's on the track and it's
some time together outside of the studio.
He doesn't want any of that. He doesn't want
Well,
time
then
outside the studio.
you are segregating each other.
Certainly,
yeah.
I don't have any time outside the
Maybe a
studio.
pool party, like maybe I'll get a pool party. That's about as good as you'll get.
That's the
You
only
gotta
thing.
do a boys'
I do.
trip.
That's all you're getting. No, there will be no boys' trips. He doesn't see the value in it. There's no way he can be away
We
from
got to
his
get
family.
this train back on the tracks, boys.
He can't be away from his family for any amount of time. He has to stay, and I get it. That's his style, and I'm not anti that either. I like being with my family too. But there are just certain things. Like, look, I thought about that. I thought about getting an RV and us heading across the nation. But we will talk ourselves out of it and not see the value, and that's why none of those things will ever happen.
But I'll drive you crazy by my spontaneity, my lack of planning, my
Not necessarily.
my
If I know we're going to be
risk-taking.
spontaneous, I don't need to know what.
But you'll be nervous at all times and be.
Well, he's that way anyway.
But your anxiety will be pegged because you'll be
Sam's
like,
kinda
"Where are
right.
we?
You know, but-
Who was around us?" And then,
No, I
and then I'll
won't.
be like, "That's fine."
I don't think I will. I think I'm okay with it.
You'll be freaked out.
No,
Like, it'll freak you out.
It's not. I'm not freaked out.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we should do something different and get out of here. We need to get
Yeah.
out of here.
We're all
We need
here to get
hell
out
out
of here.
here.
Is it work?
I
Yeah.
think it might.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, is it work?
Is it work? Because I'll do work.
Yeah, we're gonna be working. Yeah.
Well,
Working on your relationship with each other.
No,
No,
that's
no,
what
you
my
can't.
wife
You
says,
can't
and I'm
work
like,
on that.
"Well, what are you talking
Our
about? I
relationship
love
is-
you."
Our relationship's dead.
It is no, but
Yeah,
it's,
it's
you don't
dead.
need feelings to get this done. That's
I do.
what
I do.
feel like
if,
you need
well,
a
you're like my
bond.
wife.
if I didn't have an emotional connection with either of you, we wouldn't have a show.
well,
wouldn't.
Then but you just keep your emotional connection to me.
And then you have no emotional connection.
You keep your connection with me. I don't got to give you nothing.
It doesn't work
Well, what
like
do I
that.
have to give you? Oh God, you're my wife again. What do you want? Money?
You know what happened? You know when your
Can I pay
emotions.
you?
Know when your emotions dried up? When you stopped wearing baseball hats. That was the great.
I miss those days. I
as
wasn't a
soon
part
as
of that.
I never had
as
it.
soon as he
I see
decided,
Tommy, it's the
somewhere
same.
along the line, he decided he's like, no more hats, no more fun, business hair, and that was it.
You know what
Well,
it
he
is?
went through the muffalata.
You know what
And
it
that
is?
was it. He was like, can't have fun, can't be a kid, can't do. It's got to be all business all the time.
I figured it out. I
Okay.
stopped trying to be someone different when I saw that I was born this way because Tommy's the same way. Then I realized I was like, this is my
So you
personality.
stopped trying.
Yeah, well, why do I have to try to conform to society's norms when I
like this take.
No, seriously.
Yeah, this is a take where it's
everybody's like, you have to change. You're
Conforming to other instead of like growing and
or just accept me
learning
for who I am. You have to accept me for who I am. You're trying to make me a difference.
accidental D-head. Accept
What
it.
do you want me to pray my emotions back?
I can't-
I don't think you ever had them.
So your argument
what I'm saying.
is that I can act any
I was born
way
this
I
way.
want to and literally don't have to curb the true core of
For
myself
anybody,
and how
yeah.
I really feel. So the way that I feel and my reactions to anything within the shape of what we do here at the studio, anything's on the table as far as my reaction goes, as long as it's authentic to who I am.
Yeah, but if you are like a D-head or hard to work with, or
Hold on now, you're accidental
But there's
D-head.
different variations of hard to work with, right? Like if we're all cutting up on, this is a stupid example, but if we're
Yeah.
all cutting up on the chat, right? The group chat, and there's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
in there and we're reading it and participating in there, you could make an argument that that's good for the business because that's the relationships we have there. But if you're never answering or never on there ever at all, some would say that could be considered a detriment, right?
Yeah,
You could
yeah.
make an argument. So
It's hard to quantify for me because I can't quantify people's emotions, so I don't know. That's what
but they do have value.
Yeah. It's just I can't see it and quantify it, so it's hard. So, but then it's like, well, how many times do I have? Does it have to be real? Because it's not going to be real.
Fake it till you make it, baby.
If I fake it, will it give you? Because if your guys are you and Samantha,
What
like,
can you see? Or can you see?
I see it, and then I'm like,
You see what?
But
Well,
can
the
you
group
see?
text.
But can you see? Okay, and I'll use this as a real example because it's a small one. It's a very, very small one. But can you see where though your lack of participation for everybody else might be perceived as you not caring about them because you're not involved in it? So then should we just stop the group chat and then we don't need communication because it's unneeded. It's not deemed important.
No, it's just hard for me to, like, if you guys are talking about something that's not pertaining to the show, it's just a
personal thing.
It's like, hey, I did this weekend, I'm here at this, and then you guys are talking back and forth. For me, it's like, even to get on the text, now I'm on my phone, which is
Well, you're never not on your phone.
a
so
detriment to
you can't put that on us.
our
Lives
our family.
our lives are this show. So if we're talking about our lives, you might hear something that I did over the weekend, and you might actually see what I did. And just by reading it, you don't even need to respond.
It'll be a mental note. We'll talk about that.
You'll have a take on what I'm doing.
Oh, I see it. No, I
So
know.
there-
I see it and I read it. I'm just not responding.
Right. Okay.
But I realize it's hurting you. It's hurting your feelings.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't hurt my feelings, but it does make me feel like. It does make me feel like, if we're just being serious about this, it does certainly makes me feel like, wow, back in the day, we would have had a better rapport there.
like a back and forth.
And that would have been better for the show. And now that we don't do that, then there's a disconnect there. And somehow that makes our rapport, our chemistry, how we interact, our jokes, our entertainment, it does.
Not as fluid.
There's no way it can't because the connection is less. It does make me think that.
Somebody
But
in the
that's an
Twitch chat
overthink.
says, before I became a BDM, I had another BDM tell me that Tom isn't nice. To put it nicely, I think it's his accidental D-head that they were referring to.
Hold on. Give me an example.
there, he's
Because
gonna do the
I'll-
bet. It's the bet
$100
again.
challenge. If I'm a D-head to anybody, I'll give you not accidental D-head. Different.
But here's the
My
other
intent-
thing,
But
though,
you're
too. Are
not-
you the judge
Yeah,
of
he can't
it?
be.
He can't be.
Because he has no feelings. If nothing
so it has to
bothers
be someone
you-
emotional.
No, but as you're being your intentions, right? It's like if
No. It's.
Right.
I think it's actually the opposite. I think you're trying to argue the wrong way. I think it's if you live your life just being who you are and
Without considering other people's feelings,
other
yeah.
people's feelings, then you are a D-head.
Yeah.
Because you're not at that point. You're not part of our tribe. Then you have to leave the village and you have to go live by yourself out in the world
I'm not
in a different
I'll never survive.
like
I'm
an
not being-
unfeeling robot village.
But I'm not being mean to anybody or not like,
But you're also not being considerate.
like for instance, I get yelled at all the time. My wife, we can call her right now.
I don't want you to get yelled at.
We have a group chat.
That's not fair.
The thing is, I get the same thing from Chris. Exactly what Daniel's telling
No,
me
I
right
know.
now.
That's why this
Exactly
is
from
funny.
Chris on when I go home, I get this
That's
from
why
Crystal.
it's funny, not funny. We shouldn't do this. He
No,
just shouldn't get
but
this here.
She tells me all all the time because we have this. It's not a group chat. It used to be Voxer, and now it's WhatsApp. Right, so we have a group.
Well, it's
WhatsApp
easier for you guys to plan the storming of the Capitol on the WhatsApp.
with all my Miami friends, right? And they're constantly in there back. I'm never in there. Never.
Who's the most chatty?
I don't know. I'm never in there.
Oh.
But they all and then she's like, "How about you get on WhatsApp and talk to your friends and spend some time corresponding with some friends every once in a while?" And you're never in there.
That's so weird to me because I have like a friend group combo too, and I would never tell Trav he needs to post in there more. That's his business.
No, well, she's trying to help me, just like Daniel's trying to help me be more like a human being.
But not everybody is.
That's what I'm saying.
That to me is insane.
That's because I'm saying I'm just not like
her trying to force him to be more active in a group chat.
Well, Daniel's trying to force me to be active.
It's a little different because it's a job.
No,
group chat.
I'm really not trying to force.
Marriage.
I'm really not trying to force you to do anything. It's just it literally is an observation that I have noticed from the beginning of when we started working together until now. And yes, priorities change. Yes, we both have families. Yes, we have things that occupy our time that are certainly more important than this job. But I would say that, yes, like, our conversations are few and far between as opposed to, like, let's say 6 years ago or something. The way that we interacted was probably different.
See, I have a hard time building an emotional relationship or, like, maintaining that with people. And it seems to be getting worse as I get older. I think that's what you're feeling.
Doesn't everything get worse as you get older, right? Like my hypochondria, my memory, my fears.
It's just
my OCD.
Because I'm constantly the same thing with Crystal. I'm like, I love you. I will always love. We'll be married. I'm not going to do anything.
I'll always love you, Whitney Houston.
What do you need? Just ask me to do it. I'll do anything. That she's like, I need you to feel, and I need you to do these emotional things. That is super hard for me to do because I just don't feel compelled to do them.
Yeah, because that's
not who I am.
Just so you know the root of this, because we do this a lot with Tom. We don't do it so much with me. We should. But I texted him yesterday. I was like, hey, dude, are you pissed off at me? Are you like... Because it feels like...
Oh, I get that text.
I was like, this feels weird. I said, it feels like there is a disconnect here. It feels like if I think I said to you, it feels like you're subconsciously disgusted with me. That's what it feels like.
Wow.
Because the feeling...
I'm just being emotional. That's who I am.
Why? Why did you feel that way?
I don't know. It's just a feeling.
Did he just not talk to you enough yesterday?
No.
Do you think he was ignoring you?
No, I don't feel like he ignores me, but sometimes I do feel like... I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm like telling him stuff and then like, yeah, that's fine.
Dismissive.
Well, not even on purpose. I don't take it as I don't think he's doing it to like hurt me.
Well, you asked him if he was mad at you or whatever.
But I don't know. He's hard to, he's a hard guy to read. I'm pretty easy to read. You look at my face, you're like, he's mad. What are you mad about? And I'll tell you. Very easy. Very easy.
You guys got to go to marriage counseling.
We're not mad at each other. There's no problem.
I didn't say you were mad, but y'all got to work out some of this.
No, there's no problem. I think if I'm just being honest about what I think happened, I think the pressures of building this and keeping it moving has changed.
All right, we got a $100 challenge
here. Changed how we communicate.
Twitch chat at Pyro Spot. I went up and I said, "Hey Tom, I'm a BDM." He said, "Oh hey," and then immediately turned around and walked in, and we passed each other like 3 times, and he just ignored me.
That's a girl saying that.
I said, "Oh hey."
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say. Every time
no, he was doing something else, and you weren't in the focal.
I may have been distracted.
Yeah, I can write this one.
It also doesn't sound like me because anybody that ever comes up to me, I'm like, "Hey, BDM," I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And I shake your hand, even in COVID, whatever.
That's true.
Because I don't want to do the awkward fist. And then so I'll be like, "Hey, thanks for listening. I appreciate it." And then whatever you need from me, and then I get accused. Here's the problem.
I'm not accusing you of anything, by the way.
Other BDMs
we got another backup. The original person that said that their friend that was a BDM said that you do the same thing to them. You straight up ignored them.
But that's not...
That can't be true.
Look,
I should have just looked at you and ignored you. That can't be true.
Look, I'd
never do that.
I'm not on this team, but I'm going to argue against that, too. Because the one time that I had a lady online tell me that... I had a lady one time on an online board say that... her husband actually said that they came up to me at like some sort of an event or something, that the wife came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm your biggest fan. I like I like what you've done. I've always been a fan of yours. And she's been going through chemotherapy because she had cancer. And the husband said that I looked at her, and she was bald. I looked at her, and then I was like, ew. And then I went about my day. It was like at a Jason's Deli or something. That never happened.
That's the problem with feelings, though. That's how they felt.
They interpreted,
right. Yeah, now
people feel
could that have happened? And that's why I'm bringing this up.
I'm thinking it was probably more so. Again, we all know Tom has ADHD. He probably was in the middle of thinking about like going to say something to Craig or something, and then was like, ugh.
He was getting his fireworks.
I don't know, but you did walk past her 3 more times and ignored her.
The person said, I'm a BDM. You said, oh, hey, and then you were going to go with, but then you saw Craig. Craig said something to you.
Oh, then Ross comes over. Yeah. He's getting me good. He's bullying me good.
He actually helped you out that day.
He did help me. So anyway, I'll do anything to please anybody. If you're like, hey, can you do this for me? I'll do it.
He's been asking you to respond more in the damn chat.
No, that would. I'm just like it just feels like he doesn't care about anything we're doing.
Well,
don't care.
It's either. But it feels like if someone is not asking me a specific question.
But there's no need to say anything.
Then it's like if I am saying something, then it's just starting a conversation that is
But then it also makes those of us that say that, it makes me feel like, don't even say what you're doing in there. No one cares. So it has this weird...
Yeah. It's a feeling again. It's the same thing with my wife. She's like, I'll just be sitting there, and she's like, why are you mad at me? And then it's like, what? I'm like,
that does sound exactly like what just happened.
I know!
No. Hold on a second.
Suggestion from the chat, Crystal and Dan need to go out for a beer. Maybe you two need to...
We've had
they'll be fighting each other like two emotional people. Why do you think...
maybe they'd bond over it. Over your lack of care.
Daniel's married to logical Andrea. You know what I'm saying? You can't have two emotional people...
Sounds like wife swap to me.
Back to fighting. No, you can't be... Two logic people will have zero...
But the sex on either end would be really good.
The logic one won't.
Silent.
I'm not sure this will go in there. It's not the same shape. Let's outline it with a Sharpie. All right.
Yeah.
Measure this, measure that. You know what? Screw it. Let's just go to Beef O'Brady's.
Yeah, it's the constant fight for a unemotional person. I'm telling you, I see it in my son. He's just the way he's wired, the way his brain is wired. He just doesn't have the emotion in there that Max does. And the other end, Max is super emotional. Like, you see it well up. You see the chemicals pour into his brain. Whatever chemical, it's either shut off or dripping or, there's a tumor blocking it.
No, there may be a block there.
A big black tumor that I'm not worried about. No hypochondria. But
May got a mix because sometimes she's emotional, but most of the time I feel like she's like her mom.
Yeah.
There's a weird disconnect with horrible things that, like, she'll hear and she'll just be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's weird. I'm going to go cry now. And she's like, it's fine.
So for me, it's hard to even change this because it's like asking Daniel to quit being so emotional.
You can't. Yeah.
It
can't be done.
But it's got to be on the unemotional person's end to change, or at least
I try to be
like,
less sensitive with things. I really do. I think I'm a lot better.
Yeah, there are ways to work on yourself. You can't just always throw your hands up in the air and be like, this is just how I am. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, I think that I'm better now than I've ever been with sensitivity and being like I care less a lot about what people say about me on the internet. I've made some strides there. I'm less afraid of flying. So I'd feel like in the last couple of years, I've made some decent, I'm not cured in any way or like 100% better at it, but I would say I'm a little bit better at it. You got another email in there?
We haven't even started emails.
Oh, God.
We just had therapy.
Well, let's start an email. This is therapy, though.
Here we go.
I actually talked to my therapist about you and I doing this, and she's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. That's really beneficial for you guys.
The subject is reading emails ever? With 4 question marks.
This is the guy I was telling you.
I'm definitely not being dicky, I promise. However, no more emails? I do have the oddity of not liking the sound of my own voice, so I will never leave a voice message. Ever. I also understand that Sam, who is my favorite, is the only one willing and capable of reading. Tom damn sure can't read or spell, and Dan is way too busy. All of this is extremely understandable. It is nothing more than an inquiry. P.S. I would like the invite to the beach party. I do not do the social media. I'm 45 and I just have no desire, way too busy running a business and raising my daughter as a single father, and Tom has no idea when the email is going out ever. Email has been mentioned 77 times and I still have not received it. I'm a 5-year BDM and also a love meter at 1095.
Whoa.
Thanks for the exclusion regarding email reads and also no beach party invitation. LOL, thanks,
Jesus.
BDM for life. Maybe.
You guys are whacking us around a little bit.
Did we send it out today?
It's going out today.
God
I told
damn
Tony,
it.
put it out.
Put it out. Even if it's not done.
Send it out.
Put it out. Put out the first half.
It wasn't coming to me in my email, though. Like, Tony's like, I sent it 3 times to you. And then I'm like, what is wrong? That's another thing, too. I'm like,
Did
I
you
know.
say what is wrong?
No.
Is that an Asian joke? You can't do that, dude.
Can't do that.
What is wrong with like I know it has to be my fault. Like most things in my life
You
are
can't
my
make
fault.
everything your fault, dude.
Yeah, but if it has to do with technology, I'm just using statistics. I'm bad at technology. If it's technology related, it's my fault.
No, because you're
It's like
not
the trolls. Like it's the trolls are like they come there like it's not my fault. It's everybody else. I'm like this is your fault, troll. You have a history of being a troll. Your fault. I know it's your fault. I'll bet. What do you want to bet? I'll bet you $1,000. Like look, I'm just gonna start
All right,
betting people
I get
actual
that.
money if how much I'm confident that it's your fault. And
It's your fault, Bob.
I would bet $1,000 that this email problem is my fault based on history. What are you know? Anyway,
I mean, it fixed itself, though, right? I think it did.
Oh, people in the chat are saying they got the email. I don't know if they're trolling
Oh,
or...
no. Oh,
Tony sent it out.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
so
at
it
least
is out.
I told him to like an hour ago, so it
right.
should be out.
Oh, I got 2 of them. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Double invite.
Yeah, we've got multiple BDM accounts we're paying for.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
We just break even with BDMs because of all of our test accounts.
But the money comes back to us.
Snake eating its money tail.
Yeah. All right.
Logical ignorance. Hey guys, in case anyone was unsure, it is infinitely more unprofessional to show up late to a meeting than to inform the person you are meeting with that you may be a few minutes late. Informing the person not only gives them a heads up in case you are late, but also it lets them know that you have the responsibility to be professional and handle things when they aren't going to plan or deadline, and also shows your communication skills. You're not in Ferris Bueller, Tom. Bumbling around trying to make the meeting isn't professional, and the hesitance to call honestly shows the opposite. Put that in your logical bowl and smoke it.
Jesus, whoa.
I like this. Give them the spiciness. Next time, pick up the damn phone and act like a reasonable, responsible business owner and communicate with the person you are trying to do business with. Even if you're not late, you already have an icebreaker and can build a rapport around that and have proven yourself reliable. I promise, this is how you're supposed to conduct business.
So he's saying if you call and give the excuse.
I would do that. Like, or
Yeah, I would
we
too.
do that
Yeah, we
normally
do that.
here. We're like,
We do
hey,
that
I'm running
here.
a few minutes late.
And
I mean, it's a
normally-
courtesy.
I think normally you do that.
Yeah,
But
boys,
this
I
time,
used to.
he really was trying to gamble against the clock.
Well, he likes that too.
It's funny. I did. Well, it shows that I'm learning because I used to not do that.
That's true.
and it bothered Daniel. And then I noticed
That's
it bothered him.
But that's the way you were born.
and then
Can't change 'em.
because in my mind I was like, well, they don't
Who
care.
cares? Yes, everyone cares.
Well, I'm saying you guys don't actually care that I show up here 20 minutes late.
No, I don't.
And
I would like to know.
because
Because then I'm like, is he in a car accident? Is he okay?
because
What's going
don't
on?
worry.
Is he at an appointment
Yeah.
that he didn't put in the calendar?
Now let's circle back around. I have learned myself. I have taught myself. If that happens, to let it go and be cool with it, because years ago I would immediately at 9 I'd be like, "Where is everybody?" But now
I give it like a 15-20.
yeah,
and then
I'm
be like,
good
what's
now.
going on? You good?
I mean, if he goes to 11, I'll be like, something must have happened. He's good.
This has caused a lot of problems in my life. Predicting how people feel, and then being like, "Well, I know
I wouldn't feel this way, so.
Not even no, because I don't do that. I realize
No,
that
he uses
I don't
his
feel
research
anything.
of the person to predict what they will normally. Yeah.
I know what So in my mind,
I'm pretty good. You're pretty good with me.
If I'm running 10 minutes late. Usually I get here at 9 or before 9, but if I'm getting here at like 9:15, I realize both of you guys are going to be here. If I text both of you guys, for sure, both of you are going to be like, all right, cool. If I was like, hey, I'm running 15 minutes late, I had to do this errand, you're going to for sure text me like, all right, cool. We don't have a
I'll give
Right.
we don't have a first interview
Thumbs
at 10:30, so none of you will care, right?
It's
You're not
just
going to
a
be like
courtesy, though.
but
so people aren't like wondering where the hell you are.
True. I forget about worry. Because I wouldn't.
You never worry?
No, that's interesting. Yeah.
Like-
he
Like if
doesn't
I
think-
didn't show up
If you didn't show up at all, I'd be like, well,
I'd
that's
be
weird.
worried.
At what point would you start to think it's weird? If you're not going to use the word worry, at what point would you be like, damn, where's Sam?
10:30,
Like
11.
when the
I'd be
show's
like,
about.
uh-oh.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
You're emotional. I'm asking logical
Sorry,
time
I'm
here.
sorry. I'm
No,
gonna
no.
go cry.
Well, first,
Or would you not even? Would you just assume like I took the day off?
no. When we were about to start, first, if you didn't show
No,
up,
you would ask me. You'd go, does she ask to take the day off?
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
So that's how it
I've
works.
done it
We've
before.
this before.
Where you've had the day off.
Oh, okay.
And then all of a
you
sudden,
don't check the calendar. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm
Well,
just
he's doing something
distracted. ADD. I'm distracted by everything, and then so immediately, if you don't show up, my first thought is you asked to take the day off, and I forgot.
Yeah.
And I have no idea, right?
And I didn't say anything because I know, and I assumed he knew.
And then I'll ask Daniel, did she ask to take the day off? And then if Daniel says no, this is a normal day, then I'll be like, huh. And,
You got it.
and then,
See, you guys still are connected.
and then I'll be like, well, let me check if she texts me because she may have texted me like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm running late. And then if
Then
you
he'll
did-
ask if she texts me.
then
But if I didn't,
if you didn't, then
Yeah.
I'll start to because then the math to start swinging towards there's a problem.
Yeah.
because this is not.
would
this
you
is-
text me or would you say,
'Cause
Dan?
remember,
text her.
he's
I
working it out in his brain, right?
I'd text you, but I would put it on myself because I would think I'll be like, "Hey, you probably already told me this, but is
Yeah,
there-
okay, this is accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you probably already had a conversation with me, but are you off today? Or are you coming in late for a reason?
What if I didn't respond?
This is what he would do.
And then if
Then you
didn't-
start worrying?
Well, then I'd be like, well, this is
Something's going on.
There's 5 now things that are not like Sam's behavior.
Yeah.
That like so now there's potentially a problem. But I don't just if you don't
search
show up,
party for me?
I don't jump to murder.
Yeah.
Like, I don't jump
already,
to dead.
Like, I'm already planning your funeral.
Every most likely scenario I'll go through before murder. But some people's
I think that's fair.
They first jump to like dead. My wife has jumped to dead. Like if right
Honestly, car accident probably number one for me, just because nobody can drive in Orlando. But yeah,
I'm usually a
not
little in the
necessarily
middle now.
murder.
Here's why the car accident never because I'm like it had to be a serious enough car accident for you to like be unconscious,
Not be able to return a
yeah,
text,
Well,
yeah.
because like if you get an fender bender or even 90% of car accidents, like you'd probably pick your friend like, hey, I got an accident. You know, like you know,
I did that one time with you guys.
There's a lot of hurry up and wait too. You get in a car accident, the ambulance, the
Well, I
cops.
sat at the Dunkin' Donuts for 2 hours waiting for the cop to come and just give me a citation so I could file with my insurance.
So anyway. That's it.
Yeah, okay.
I promise there's an explanation. there's an explanation.
We got to go talk to the library.
All right. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hey, Sam.
Hi,
We're recording this on a chill Tuesday.
We are.
How
Yeah.
chill are you today?
I'm pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm faking my chill.
It's
Okay.
the middle of August.
Oh, not chill.
It's hot outside.
But football's coming around.
Yeah, football is coming around.
You know, that means...
Halloween, right on. We are right on the cusp of Halloween because no, we are because all the Spirit Halloween stores across the nation and in Orlando are opening up. Now, I saw one I'd never seen before. I've seen Spirit Halloween, but have either of you seen Halloween City?
I have seen Halloween City.
Halloween City's cool.
Yeah.
It's big. Halloween City's big.
There's also an atomic horror shop up here, and I don't know what that is. But
Atomic horror.
The sign just went up right next to the old bike shop.
Atomic.
Is it one of those...
year-round horror stores?
I don't
seasonal
know.
deal?
No idea. Literally, they were just putting the sign up, so there's nothing in the store yet.
Is the sign a cheap banner?
No, it's actually
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, okay. Well,
On the
yeah.
building and on the marquee outside.
It's going out of business.
that means
Yeah.
it's
a year-round horror store.
Well, yeah, that means it's it's going to be there for a while.
But a lot of
It's
these
seasonal.
nerd stores, they have to hybrid themselves a little bit. So you got we do a little bit of Pokemon, a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, a little bit of baseball, a little bit of Pokemon, tabletop games, video games, old video rental. They do like all of it.
Are those stores
No.
making money
No.
because the person that owns them curates what's inside,
No.
and people like that because the internet.
They're biding time to go to business. All of them.
Let's do some weird.
All righty, here we go. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by StreamlineFlorida.com or StreamlineCalifornia.com if you live in California.
I automated
Wow.
that. I'm sorry. I automated that, and that's it. Back to the drawing board.
Any sort of mortgages, if you're looking to buy a house, Brian Ziman on his team will help you. And also look into reverse mortgages now. Good for anybody over the age of 62. They have to be over 62.
It's like a regular mortgage, except it's 69.
And your house will basically pay you,
Yeah.
especially while all the home prices are so high.
And you'll be like, thank you, house.
Yeah. It's the home equity conversion loans.
And the house is like, you're welcome.
Yeah. All right, who's our guest today? I never asked his name.
Jason.
Jason. This is
Jason.
Jason. I asked his name, but I forgot his name.
How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing great.
So, what is your weird job?
I ID snakes every day.
Really? Okay. All right.
So you are a snake PI.
So, what does that mean? Who pays you for that?
Well, just started a few months ago a subscription model. So
Wait,
that's how,
we can subscribe and have you come by our house and identify our snakks?
you got to do it through the app. But
Wait, you have an app?
yeah, that's
Are
what-
you the app or are you the... I'm confused.
So they started the app. I don't write code, but I have a development team here in Orlando that
We
writes
need
all
a
the code.
development team.
Okay,
Okay.
wait. Hold on a second. So your weird job... Okay. I thought your weird job was that I could subscribe to have you personally, as Jason, come to my house, and I'm like, I got a steak,
I like
Jason.
that.
You're like, I'll
That's
be right there. You drive over. You're like, yeah, that's a coral
About the
steak. All right.
80s.
That's a
Everything's sorted
coral
out.
steak. I'll see you later.
My
I'll be-
son tells people that, and he just says, my dad will ID that snake for you.
I think that's cool. So you have an app that I can download now and subscribe to and identify every snake?
Correct. In the
That's pretty dope.
So, I know this because I'm into plants, and I have plant apps that do this as a service.
I
where
think
it's
Snake app cooler than Plant app.
where I take a picture and it tells me what kind of plant it is. So this is essentially the same deal. Like you see a snake and now let me ask you this. How close do you have to be? Because I imagine
Good question.
You know, with my plant app, it's like take a
Where you
picture of
zoom
its
in.
flower
You
and
pinch and zoom, you dum-dum.
well, I mean, the snake is in the bushes and you're 10
Hey,
feet
now.
away. Even pinching and zooming, you're going to get
Hey.
a more blurry snake.
How good is your pinch and zoom? I'm an excellent pinch zoomer because I got tiny hands.
So how close?
You're exactly right. It's actually human powered. So the idea originally, because I was actually deathly afraid of snakes before starting this, is there was a snake.
That
in our
seems
pool
weird. They got
for
to
sure.
do it.
No, it makes sense, right?
No, it's what he needed, right? He's like,
That's
I
right.
cannot leave my house.
Because he
I am-
didn't know if something was like poisonous.
I am so
or-
afraid of snakes. If only my phone had the ability to tell me which ones I'm safe around and which
Exactly.
ones I'd be murdered by.
It was actually in our pool. So everyone screams snake and, panics, walks on water. My son found it. I thought he was playing around. But it was a little tiny snake. Didn't know what it was, scooped it in the net. And that's when the idea popped, what if we could just find it? Because I couldn't teach my kids, right? So they were scared. I was scared, but got online, figured out it was a little ringneck snake and that they get into pools commonly because they want to get a drink of water, but they can't get out. So I felt bad.
Stupid snake.
Then started learning more patterns, colors, all these different things. And I actually self-taught myself and witnessed my own fear go away. So it was kind of a weird transformation.
God.
And
He faced his fears.
What a
Yeah.
great story, too, man. The fact that, just through repetition, I guess, being around there, general curiosity, you were able to, overcome your fear
Right.
of snakes and also create a avenue of revenue for you and your family.
right.
So
That's pretty dope.
the actual app is a human looks at every snake's picture submitted.
And you were right on point with it. So the original idea was automation because the AI is coming about, But as 3 years ago the app launched, and as I saw the photos come in, you're exactly right. The way I see it, you got scared people taking pictures of scared animals. So they're 50,
Blurry.
20 feet away,
Yeah.
blurry.
I bet you
Most
get a
of them-
lot of penises, right?
3.
Wow.
Yeah, you knew
I
that.
knew-
He knew
out of-
that was coming.
I knew it. Out of 200,000 we've gotten in 3 years, only 3. So
wait till I get this app.
Oh, it's going to change now you're on our show.
Yeah, now that you've been on our show,
Yeah.
A lot of trouser snakes.
you're going to get a lot of penises and a lot of.
And they're going to be red in your teeth.
We've seen them. We've seen them.
Yeah.
Small, irritated, like snakes.
Now, not to S on your business model here. but
Here we go.
It does seem a tad bit inefficient to have an actual human look at and try to identify each picture
Yeah, but the
submitted through the
success
app.
rate is high.
I don't know if you knew this. A computer can do everything better than a human.
Well,
literally everything.
In this scenario, no. There are
Really?
a few. Yeah, there are a few that are automated out, but dealing with venomous animals, I could not afford to be 99% correct. Got to be 100, really. So without the human eye confirming it, I've inputted a lot of our submissions that come in into these AI. Now, if it's very clear and centered, like you said, a bush, a tree, it's easy to kind of get that. It's like, taking a picture of a check. But you got the animal that's moving around. A lot of them are killed, unfortunately. So, they could be roadkill. It could be head cut off, all these things. So it takes a human. Now, what I've learned, we're going to build an AI system, but the more bad pictures that we have coded correctly or labeled correctly by the human, then the system will be able to learn. Because not every picture is just perfectly squared and centered. So a lot of variables that I had no idea about. In trees, 30 feet away, water, actually, the contrast of the picture, it basically just makes it, you can't tell a pattern, unfortunately.
So, Jason, I know you're not a computerman, but I'm going to bitch about something for a second because all right.
I can't get into my emails.
Okay, well, so
Why'd you see attachment? Oh, it's always at the bottom of the email, and then I got to save it to my desktop.
Right.
we have face recognition technology, and every cell phone has it. And my iPhone looks at my face and can recognize my face compared to Daniel's face or your face or any other white guy's face that looks like me, because all white people look the same. So, and it won't work on your face, but it'll work on my face. So it knows, it does the thing. And, it, but I still, when I go to Bovada, I have to put every square a bicycle is in or a traffic light. But it's like a computer can't decide what square a traffic light's in, but it can recognize my face. What is it?
Right.
Anyway. It can't recognize a snake.
Old man yells at the internet.
It can recognize a plant.
He yelled so much I got confused.
No, what I'm saying, like, which one, like, what, how smart is it? The technology should be there so it can easily recognize everything. There's not that many snakes. Red and yellow kills a fellow. I know it.
Honestly, everything you're saying, I don't know the answer to, so I don't know whether to agree with you or be against what you're saying, what you're yelling about.
A ring around its neck. It's got a ring neck.
No, there are some. I mean, there's a success rate, but again, there's some. It could be a rattlesnake, but it's too far away, and the AI says it's a water snake. That's a big thing. I mean, the liability alone that's why we just couldn't afford. But majority of what comes in, I mean, we get 300 to 400 a day, and we have for 3 years, and we can answer in seconds. I mean, I've used the technology to be fast with humans. So we have all of these write-ups already queued up. It's a lot of copying and pasting because it comes through an email box. But literally, by the time you submit it, it's going to be back in your inbox pretty quick.
Let me ask you how the process works. So you have a bunch of professionals.
15.
15 different snake professionals that are, basically on call, or when they get an email, they identify the snake. And you say
they're also dressed as snakes when they answer, just to add an extra layer of authenticity to the app that people don't. You don't see that, but they will send you a picture of them dressed as a snake.
But we get a lot of stuff that will blow your mind.
Like the pictures.
Yeah, people accidentally send the wrong picture in their phone, so there'll be selfies of them eating.
Now, what's the legality of what you have them opt in in to make sure that they know that these extra photos are like safe, because what stops you from having an addition to your app called like Snakes After Dark, where it's all the pictures that just fell through the cracks, kind of like they
Snakey
do.
naked.
Well, kind of like what they do over at the airport when they sell everything that they found that fell out of luggages. You know what I mean? And the luggage. They sell the luggage. Some people have so much money they can just leave their luggage at the airport for the rest of their lives.
So isn't there a good amount of human error that's possible here? Because if I know humans, they err.
The only error,
a lot.
The only error would be an actual like copy and paste error. So they know the snake, and if it's not known immediately.
How did you acquire these snake experts?
Through social media connections, the few people that I met in Florida to begin with, I found in this community they're very tight. A lot of them know each other.
Yeah, we got snakes.
When a lot of individuals, they go herping, they call it.
That's
so they go out and they basically constantly, weekly, their passion is to find as many things as possible. Snakes, frogs, salamanders, you name it. So the knowledge that these folks have is astonishing. So
it's called herping?
Yeah. So growing up in Florida, we would go shining, go gigging, things like that. It's called going herping. Herpetology, study of reptiles and amphibians.
Yep.
So it's short. So that is the act of going out.
So it's like bird watching or whatever.
Correct.
It's just for reptiles.
More dangerous than bird watching, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I came from the business world. I was a financial advisor before this. No experience whatsoever. But I trademarked going herping and herp life, just like salt
Dog
life.
and herp life.
Herp life
Now you can
is
take that a lot
awesome.
of different ways.
Yeah, herp
Right.
life is fantastic.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you this, Jason. So, in Florida, I've lived in Florida all my life.
Me too, yep.
So, I've been, out in the wilderness in Florida a lot. I've never one time seen a rattlesnake.
I have.
Like live, like wild.
Agreed.
Yeah, never one time. But I have seen water moccasins. I don't think I've ever seen a coral snake. I've seen the one that looks like a coral snake.
Right.
My mom and dad's house had a ton of rattlesnakes. It must have been like an area, because
It is.
my mom's house, like that little gully area where the water near that pond. I mean, there were rattlesnakes crazy there, and you'd see them.
Yeah, I mean, my
They make
papa-
noise, and it's scary as hell.
out in the Everglades, he saw tons of rattlesnakes and
Yeah.
stuff. But he recently, I mean, before he died, he told me the pythons ate everything. That they've eaten every single small animal, all the other snakes. They've destroyed the Everglades.
I even joke and say they're eating the trees too down there.
They've
Like,
eaten,
what
they're eating gators, but
Would a python eat a rattlesnake?
I don't know. But
Snakes do eat each other.
Yeah.
Depends on certain species.
Yeah, I'm just
so.
wondering, and if a rattlesnake bites a python, does the python get the toxicity like we do? Because
Good.
you see, like last night, I don't know how I fell down the hole, and it wasn't in preparation of you being here, because, like I said, I don't like to know what the job is. I like to be surprised. But it was one of these Baptist snake handlers. It was actually the son of a legendary snake handler who had died after being bit by a snake, and this guy gets bitten by a rattlesnake as he's holding it, preaching to his congregation.
He's immune.
And he starts
Oh, he's not.
bleeding and barfing. He's barfing everywhere, and they're carrying him out like a fat baby. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm watching a man die.
So what my point
horrifying.
being, Jason, is that it seems like, if someone calls me like there's a black snake in my house, I'm gonna be like black racer, fine.
Yeah.
And it's
Right,
the
right.
Florida generalization of like, hey, most likely.
I honestly don't know what a black racer is, but I've been told about them for years.
Any black snake, black racer. It's like,
Yeah.
and like if it's swimming in the water, like, oh, I got cottonmouth, open his mouth, white mouth,
Black
fine.
racer.
Yeah.
You
So-
get a black racer, and you get a black racer.
My point being, seemingly the poisonous ones are rare to see. So, in your experience in Florida, I mean, it's the same 6 snakes, right?
You're right. So those are the venomous ones. And I thought the same thing early on. Other than the snake I saw, I'm like, I haven't seen a snake in probably 3 years. So how's this going to be successful? But then you start to realize really what made me go all in on it was more of the economical view. When I realized that there's snakes literally on every piece of land in the planet other than a few countries, and most people are deathly afraid. Well, now my market just became almost 3/4 or more of the world's
Right,
population. So when you look at it that way, there's so many people out there. But you were right about situations. When most snakes are ground burrowers, so they're in the ground. Now, as construction is being done and built up, that's churning up snakes. So out where I live, big old roadway being built, in that particular area, there's a lot of pygmy rattlesnakes. So those are being seen more. You may not see a pygmy in certain areas like downtown Atlanta.
Sure.
So it's a lot of the urban snakes. A lot of what we get are the same things that are around people's homes. There are people in this industry, like I said, that go herping.
You know how you know
that
it's
may
an
not
urban
see
snake?
a snake. They look for one
You know
snake.
it's coming, right? You know how you know it's an urban snake? Do you know? Does anyone here know?
I don't.
Not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you because you laugh too hard at it. I was going to tell you. It has its headphones around its neck. That's how you know. And it's getting on the subway.
So I'm surprised there's no other snake identifier app. Honestly,
There are a couple, but
he's saying they're
not as
automated,
good.
and his is the best one because it's actually got,
humanized.
it's got that element of
really
of
where I took it further
human experts.
is because of my transformation. The ID was the original idea, but it's more the education. So our responses are very short and to the point, but we tell you what they eat, where they hide. I started learning all kinds of things about ways you can take care of your property. Snakes are either around looking for food or shelter. So if you leave a lot of pool floats around your pool, you basically just created a house for them. So
Do I have a pool float mansion for you?
Pool noodles. They hide in those noodles, down in
snakes like pool noodles.
So that
They
was
think it's other snakes.
yeah. So part of the education is what I've done. Every month I load all of these submissions into a contact management system, and I have location and I have your email. So I proactively send information based on where people live. Because if you're in California, snakes are native to certain areas. What's in California is not here in Florida.
Right.
And then I've seen a lot of people moving around the nation. So when you're in California, they got used to what was around them. Now they moved to Florida. They have no idea because there are totally different snakes in each area. Now there are some that, black racers in probably half the country. So, but there are some that are only, in that particular area. So
How come they ain't got no goddamn white races?
but like you said earlier, everyone thinks everything's
Slow
a
snakes.
cottonmouth.
They'd be really slow.
Every snake's going to hurt them, but majority aren't.
What's the rarest snake in Florida?
Probably a rainbow snake is one of them.
Gay.
Never even heard of it.
Right. There are more. There's
I was still in that character, and it slipped out.
There's 65 in Florida, roughly. So you'd be surprised how many different ones there are.
Do you have certain areas of the United States that are that use the app more? Are they like the swamp states like Louisiana, us?
Yes,
Alabama,
Texas
Texas.
is I'd say on the East Coast, Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Out west, Arizona, Texas, and California.
Okay.
There's 15 different rattlesnakes in Arizona.
Ever had? Do you have one state that maybe no entries from, or all 50?
We've had all of them, even Alaska, but
Nice.
there are no snakes there. It's just the user. What we've seen too is a lot of people.
Alaskan penis.
They may not even have seen the snake. They jack it from social media, or they're looking at the neighborhood apps. So people are just bored and looking around all day, and they're like, "Oh, I'll identify it for Tom.
I'll help you out.
Yeah.
I got the app."
But
Yeah.
then they don't know
My
that
God,
snakes
how
are really by
how are
range.
people that bored? Are they identifying like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna identify my neighbor's snake?
Baby, I gotta go on Nextdoor and help these people find out what snakes they have. I'll be right back.
Who has that much time?
You would be surprised. And those are things I just learned. You would be surprised the demand is out there, and the people that are really. There's so many people on the fence that don't know enough, but they want to know. And now they're becoming interested, and they want to buy pets. They, learn certain things like king snakes, for example. You said it earlier. They're immune to venom.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So they actually eat copperheads, cottonmouths, rattlesnakes. So when people are killing king snakes, you basically just took away your defense of
what
your
are you
home.
doing?
So that's the type of
like
stuff.
friendly fire.
It's not
Don't
just
kill
telling
it.
you what it is. We're telling you why it's there. What they actually do, and that's where people are going, aha. And it's kind of like going back to grade school. Lizards eat, insects and bugs. Snakes eat lizards. Other mammals. Birds eat snakes. Because snakes can't fly, birds can. So everything kind of goes hand in hand. Really and truly.
You ever had something get submitted where your experts are like, it gets to one expert and then he tosses it to a couple other experts because he doesn't know what it is,
Yes.
and then you get to a point where you're like, I think we found something new.
Well, nothing new. It's just Well, we have partners. I've created some partnerships in all different parts of the world: India, Australia.
So different time
South
zones.
I feel like
America.
India is a honey hole. I mean, you get to when you get your snake in front of the guy in India, it's like,
Yep.
hey, I know everything. Like, he's the guy.
100,000 deaths a year there, and there's only about 5 in the U.S.
Every
Because
video that you and I Tom and I became obsessed with the snake and the rope trick, and then they'd always have a snake in the in the whatever that basket.
Yeah,
and
the cobra,
and it is terrifying.
For
It is
sure.
absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, when you doo-doo on the side of the road, it's a snake's going to bite your feet. You have no
That's an
shoes.
excellent point, Tom.
I'm just saying, there is a correlation with
But think of how peaceful
standards of living.
Can everyone here imagine how peaceful your roadside duties would be if you just had steel-toed boots in India? One pair of steel-toed boots and you could crap in peace.
It's bad. Some areas.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time, Orlando's coolest show. I'm going to demand that everyone call it.
Let's do some emails.
All right.
Okay. Hey, gang, for each of you, not counting the Dan Cummins fiasco at OLE, is there a time when a special occasion turned into a total disaster?
Ooh, my wedding proposal, not so great. Does that count?
Yeah.
Remember,
That's a special occasion.
My wife was coming down with the flu.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just powered through, sticking the ring in the Christmas tree. And I had thought I was very clever in wiring the Christmas tree incorrectly, so she would then have to dig through the Christmas tree, wiring it correctly and fixing my mistake, then finding the ring box, which is tied to the cord that she needs to plug the Christmas tree in correctly. She never even saw it. She just put the Christmas tree's plugs together correctly and then looked at me and said I was an idiot for not knowing how to do it.
Well, I can't think of the one time we did a T&D Media Christmas dinner at
And Manny's.
the old Manny,
Manny's. I mean, I wouldn't say that was it went poorly, but
Well, I'm awkward in the fact that I thought that I had to give some sort of speech, and then I brought everybody's Christmas bonus,
and then Tony.
and
Didn't you like pee on your shoes or
No.
something
Yeah.
while you were signing envelopes?
We signed the cards by the urinal, so there's a little backsplash on him. Tony Palmiotti freshly dyed his hair like Rudy Giuliani. Had on a flowered shirt and
Slicked back hair.
He slicked his hair back. He looked
He was
like
Hawaiian Dracula.
He was Hawaiian Dracula.
then Butler walked in the bathroom while I was signing the outside of everybody's bonus envelope.
And bullied you somehow.
And well,
or-
then I was awkward. I was like, "This is your bonus."
Yeah, you didn't need to
Yelled
do
at
that.
him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
Well-
out of here, Butler.
Yeah, but I was like in the where the sinks were. Anyway, that was pretty awkward.
And who knew that Manny's soon to be closed? I think the night after we left it, place closed down.
Didn't our credit card get declined?
Yeah, I think our credit card did get declined.
That just happened recently with Enemy Inc.
Oh, God, that's embarrassing.
And apparently, like, they reached out. Now I feel that I'm obligated to tell them it's not because we don't have any money. Because that's what I think they think now.
course.
When
Because
did
apparently
this happen, and who did they reach out to? Because now that we have people they can reach out to, it's possible that they reach out to somebody other than you and I, and they're like, "What's the deal?" And they're like, "We don't know." And then they think, "Oh yeah, it's happening."
yeah. Well, they reached out to me, and apparently I ghosted them by accident because I didn't.
Accidental D-head, yeah.
Well, because my life is in disarray.
Oh, my God.
I have too many unread emails, so I can't tell. Like, so
If
once,
you die during an accident, you are also accidental ghost.
Yeah.
You don't even know. You're like, why am I a ghost?
So Lisa from Enemy Inc.
Oh, you don't need to name names.
Well,
man.
no, I'm just.
You don't need to name
She's
names.
great. We've dealt with her for
Yeah.
You know,
10
she is a
years
saint.
plus.
for
We've been
dealing
working
us.
with Lisa for like 10 years
Yeah.
now, and I want to hug her.
Yeah, Enemy Inc. is great if you want to get any T-shirt printed.
Here's
They'll
when
do
they're not
everything.
great. They're not great when you don't pay your bills and you don't have your credit
Well,
card
it was
wired correctly.
It was for our stickers that we recently finished. You know
Oh,
what I'm
God,
saying?
this is embarrassing.
And we have a card on file, but every once in a while, like,
It gets declined because Tony buys too much Chinese garbage. I told him that.
Well, I think
Do you know how many times that SunTrust card has been shut down?
I think because
At least 50 times.
Alibaba charges come
Yeah.
in, and then they were like, "Oh, this scam."
But why did they name it that? If they didn't want us to be racist at all, why did they name it Alibaba? They might as well have just named it like,
the
hey, look,
Simpsons
camels and
character.
lambs. Like, what are you doing?
Anyway, I think that's what happens is because Tony's ordering things from weird places in China, and then a fraud alert comes.
Oh, every time.
And then, but that's also my fault.
We'll be right back. Welcome to News Bloopers. This guy said fart. Oh, wow. God.
No!
You just blew my eardrums out.
Singular doll. What is doll? What does doll mean? No.
Then
Kill anime.
I get the text from American Express saying, "Is this your fraud alert? Is this your charge?" And then I don't look at
Voter
it
alert! Voter alert!
And then
Why don't you look at it?
I look at it, and then I'm like, "What is this?" And then
They
more
make
texts
us
come
do
in.
too much. They make us do too much legwork. They're like, fraud alert! This could be a fraudulent charge, and most of the time, it's a regular charge.
And
Right.
I get
So
the,
just let those go through. You should know.
I get the text while we're recording, and then I'll do the mistake of I'll open my
Yeah,
phone,
you
I'll
gotta
look at it,
wait.
and then I'm like, "Oh, something's happening." Daniel just said something. And then
Oh my God, Daniel said something problematic.
And then I'll forget about it, and then it'll be lunch break, and then I'll be like, "What is that? Oh God, my broccoli!"
I forgot my broccoli's stinking up the studio. Oh,
You gotta
Tony.
up the Adderall, man.
And then I'll walk. Well, it started working less because that's what happens with drugs. So
you gotta
Yeah,
get
well.
more. You
Yeah,
gotta get
yeah,
more.
I could do
Why
more,
do you-
more,
and
more.
then do the ODB.
Why do you think I'm on 200 milligrams?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, baby, I like it raw.
But my doctor, if I mention, I'm like, "Hey, let me get some more," he'll be like, "Oh, you're addicted," and then I'm afraid he'll give me less.
I'm gonna punish you.
yeah.
I
So
do vindictive medicine.
So I don't want to mention, or he'll be like, you can't keep upping it. When does it stop? I don't know what he's going to say. So I don't say
You
nothing.
look at him and you go,
When
you can't stop me.
Well, that's the thing.
I'll just get another doctor,
'Cause
one that'll believe me.
I'm-
And if he doesn't believe me, I'll just get another doctor, and it'll continue. You'll never stop me.
Because I imagine he'll say, "Well, if I start giving you 15 milligrams, then
Then you're gonna want 20.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want 20, you want 25.
Yeah. Then there's only I'm guessing there's a limit to it, right?
No limit. That's why they call it limitless. That's the pill, limitless.
Can it get up to 100?
It can.
I assume it'll blow your heart up, right?
Well, you get up to-
Yeah. Your heart will blow up, but
Yeah, but think of how fast your equations
it'll
are.
be fun though.
I think it's worth it.
No, but it'll be just back to
Yeah.
regular equations.
No, it's just like overclocking a computer. Like you got to get pre-stinted to handle the amount of equations you're going to do. You got to prepare your heart
Yeah.
for the amount of energy you're going to be pumping into your mind with the Adderall.
Okay, all right.
So we go 100 milligram Adderall, pre-stint you, and just let that thing.
By the way, I hope Lisa's listening because none of this has been resolved yet.
Oh.
I'm telling you, an active.
Because Merchman just sent her another order.
No, yeah. Oh, he's the one that
They
texted me.
love that when you don't pay your
God
bills
damn
and you order more from them. They love that.
Well, that's who is now contacting me is Eric saying, "Hey, Lisa reached out to me and said, and this is the embarrassing part. He's like, I think she was a little embarrassed because she reached out to you and you didn't reply, so now she's under the impression that there's some sort of problem. That
Well,
you're
no, we're
having."
just like
man.
every other owner.
It's like when you're in the bathroom too long, like something's happened.
I know. I try to go faster there, but I can't. I can't. I got IBS.
Like, when someone goes to the bathroom and it's been like 15 minutes,
Yeah.
you're like, there has
Well,
to
they
be a
pooped
problem.
on themselves. That's what I always think. I go, they pooped on their hand.
Yeah.
Every single time, I'm like, they got a little on their underwear or on their hand.
They
and
pooped their pants.
Yeah.
And now
I never go pants. I always go that everything was fine
Well, the
until you
hand
got
is-
into the cleanup part, and you're like, oh my God, I pushed it up my back. I can say that.
If you're in the bathroom for too long, some horrible thing has
You're
happened.
just pushing it around. You're playing air hockey back there.
You're trying to hide the embarrassment of some accident, right?
You're doing that move where you took your shoe and sock off of one foot. You're using your bare foot with a paper towel wrapped around it to push your underwear to the bottom of the metal trash can. And then once you've done that, you put all the paper towels back in, and then you put your shoe and sock back on your foot to hide your doo-doo foot. Then when you get home, you clean it. Nobody else has done that? First voicemail? Should I? Nobody else has done that. Really?
I'm trying to hide my business accident.
Business accident. That's all we do here. We specialize in business accidents. What type of business accident do you need? Tom and Dan can do it. Hey, let's talk about the pictures of Dan Newland lifting weights.
Oh my God, they're so
Can we talk
cringe.
about
What
this?
happened?
Let's talk about
Yeah,
the
they're
Dan.
so cringe.
Can we talk
Also,
about it?
Well, maybe I shouldn't say
What?
the other pictures. He has an oddly
Well, hold
close
on.
relationship with his daughter. I feel.
No, he'll sue us.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I am not saying that. Sam Har. Semantics. I don't want. You guys got helicopters.
Yeah.
He's rich.
When you got helicopters, man.
You
got helicopters.
Listen. As a person that wasn't very close with my father, I'm just saying they have a very close relationship.
He'll combine with some Hulk Hogan that will put us out of business.
Okay.
That's what happens.
My God.
Like you combine with a wrestler. That doesn't have
Hogan and Newland?
Well, I'm just saying.
That's an unstoppable force, man.
If you have unlimited money, you find a legitimate case, and then you throw the money behind it to put the other your enemy out of business.
Do you
That's
think
what
he's
happens.
on the tee?
Oh, well, it appears. Here's what I would
now
say.
we can't talk about nothing
Here's
on
what I
this
would
show.
say.
Lawyers, we can talk about any Cadillac Pat.
Yeah,
he was fine.
we can talk about him.
He ain't suing us.
No, because he's got nothing.
A
He's
lawyer,
got treasure.
a lawyer with unlimited money will sue us 100%. Yeah.
Hey, this is all show fodder. I don't know the man.
I don't know if how that works.
Yeah, I don't know if that works either.
Let's ask Mo. Let's write that down.
It's better to stay away.
Even
All I ask
Mo
if
is doing the.
Yeah. He's like, stop. All I ask is if you saw him lifting weights. That's all I ask. Because, those pictures, wow. Wow.
Is it a social media thing?
Yeah,
yeah.
with a rash
He's
guard
ripped.
on, and he's ripped. And then a buddy of mine drew Glenn Danzig hair, and then also made him the Sam Hain belt buckle, and he called it Glenn Dan Newlandzig or something. Like he made it funny.
Look, he's super tan and ripped now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
the progression. You need to start looking like that because all
I'm
radio
going to.
hosts look like that.
Yeah. Well,
all attorneys, all radio hosts, when you get to a certain age, you blow your sleeves off and you start lifting weights.
Yeah, and doing tea. Not that he's
Not
doing
that he's
it,
doing.
but I'm just saying.
Not him.
What
Of
Not
I,
that there's anything wrong with
Yeah,
that.
that's all natural.
what I know to be true, 100%, is every super rich guy is on testosterone therapy of
Let's
some
do
sort.
it, man.
I keep telling our trainer Michael, and he keeps shaking his head, sending me videos.
When have I ever cared what Michael says?
No, I know, but
And I mean that with love because he knows I love it.
he sent me some scientists talking about it's not going to make that much of a difference. Working out is what blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I want the
Just
easy.
shoot me with the
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I'll blow my sleeves off. I'll start wearing nothing but rash guards tucked into my jeans.
Anybody can do it. It
I'm
works.
gonna do it.
I mean, you'll get.
I gotta do it. Dude, I'm 4 years from 50. I gotta do it.
Now you have to be cool with your hair blowing out and turning Joe
man.
Rogan red.
I can't be Rogan red.
You'll turn Rogan red.
Because then everybody will go, oh, look, little Rogan. Hey, Orlando's Rogan.
You will be
Yeah, I'll be little Rogan. I can't do that. I can't go in the tea then.
Because you'll get real red, and then your hair will blow out. Because
And I got decent hair, man. I got a lot of hair. It's fine.
but only if you have any semblance of male pattern baldness in your
my dad got it
genetics.
he got where it would just get a little. He still had it back there, but you could
in the back?
It just in the back, a little tiny bit, not a full bald spot, just a little bit of
Isn't
light
it supposed
bald.
to be from your mother's side, though?
Yeah, it is from your mother.
But this will accelerate. And that's a myth, actually.
Okay.
The old.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a
Most
myth.
things are myths. Like that stupid. I thought those students found the killer or whatever. They everything's a lie. Everything's a lie.
Yes, all misinformation.
I don't blame anybody for getting all mad. Let me get a voicemail for us. Let's try this one right here.
So here's a weird question, Jalen here. And before you think ill of me, I thought of this when you guys were talking about, kids running through other people's yards and all the freedoms that you had that you wouldn't give your kids. And you joked about, oh, well, you'd let Tommy and Maisie go to, rent a hotel room to go to Disney. You'd let them do that now. It made me think, would it affect you guys' relationship if you found out at like 14, 15 or whatever, Tommy and Maisie had sex together?
Oh, my
Would you guys do
God.
that?
Why would you say? Why would you ask that? I'm sorry. I should have vetted that one. I don't think I would have played that one.
Well, it's a legitimate question.
No.
Also, we said how ridiculous it was for our parents to let us do the stuff we did.
Yeah.
We never said we were going to let our kids do the
No.
same thing. I won't.
Absolutely
I think that's
not.
what he said, is that you guys wouldn't let your kids do some of the stuff
Oh,
that
I
you
thought he
guys
said
had the
he
freedom
would.
But
to
here's
do.
what I will say about that. If I'm going to it's a ridiculous question, and please don't ask those. What's wrong with you? You have a mental problem. But I will say this. Tommy is a good boy. And Maisie is a good girl. And if they got to that point and that were something that happened, I would be upset, but not because it's Tommy. I would be upset just in general.
Just in general, yeah.
I would be
Yeah, the
relieved.
situation.
I would be relieved that it was Tommy. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? There'd
Yeah.
still be a problem, but Tommy would have nothing to do with it. In fact, secretly, I'd look at my wife and be like, "Oh God, thank God, thank God."
Yeah.
Thank God it was Tommy and not Takashi 69. You know, like
Yeah.
what, you have your choices.
It could be a baby juggalo.
It could be a baby juggalo, and that's
Yeah.
one thing I'll stake my life on, my wife's and my daughter's. Not even in my family, but he is not a baby juggalo.
Yeah.
I know that Tommy Van is not.
Yeah. And, Maisie will boss him around crazy.
Maybe he likes that though. Maybe it's a popcorn scenario.
She'll
you
tell
know?
him what to do.
Yeah, like a
He'll do
popcorn. Like we know this popcorn.
He is like you, so he will need a second mom.
Yeah.
But there's something. Some would say
They'll
that
be
Tom's a
bopping.
genius if he can have women, do everything for him and kind of guide him through life.
No.
kinda sad.
Yeah, it is sad. And
I don't know. I'm kind of
Also, my
as I
wife-
get older, I kind of like it.
My wife, she doesn't do everything for me. She
She has to deal with your neighbors.
well,
Oh, tread lightly.
there's certain things I just don't want to do, so I just abandon them, and she just does it because if they don't get done, it
That
hurts
is
both of us.
manipulation, sir.
Well, because I don't want to deal with any of the house.
Neither does she.
And payments, all the bills and the stuff and that.
See, I don't mind doing any of that.
It bores
setting
me.
it up. That's fine, but
I
I
hate
don't.
it.
I can't do laundry. I don't.
Yeah, laundry,
I don't do. I'll cook.
I'll
I'll
do
wipe
dishes.
things down. I'll clean. I'll vacuum. I'll fix. I'll paint.
I
I'll
keep
go
telling
on
Crystal,
errands, but I just don't. Laundry's off the table.
Crystal refuses to give up and just take everything to wash, dry, and fold. Every
You're going to say worse. Are you becoming my father? You're becoming my father. That's the last piece of the puzzle. You just got to say worse. My dad could not. He'd say, "Worse it, Dan Lee. Worse it."
Anyway, she refuses to give up and just give it up to God and just take it to the lady. And even though it's too expensive, what are you doing? It's a sign that you should have the time. It's just take it to the lady, have her wash, dry, and fold it.
The
and
price
then
isn't that bad. In fact, I
It's-
told the
it's-
price to Andrea, who is so cheap, and she was like, "Hey, that's not bad." And if she's saying that,
It's you should be able to do your laundry, but
At what point do you get the kids to start helping you with chores? Like laundry and
we
dishes?
have some of those now, but they're easy breezy. Like take your plate to the sink, take your napkin and put it in the trash. Right? We got that one. We got clean up your toys, but normally we have to stay on top of that
See,
one.
I feel like that's just cleaning up after yourself. I mean, like a family chore that
Feed
helps the
dog.
whole. Okay.
Does that count?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. And water the plants. She only has two, really.
All
They're
right.
Maggie and plants.
When do
Dude.
we get to laundry, mowing the lawn, like all that stuff?
Those are the fun ones.
Yeah.
I used
When
to
they get older.
I loved mowing the grass, dude. Loved it.
It's
Loved it.
in today's society, the kids, they're I'd send them out there to mow the lawn, but that Crystal first I got a lawnmower.
They're not
because I
going to
don't
do a
it
good
myself.
job.
Oh, okay.
They're not going to do a good job, and I'll tell you why.
They don't
because
do a good job with
I-
anything.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you think
When
I
are you
do a
going to
good-
have them out there digging holes?
They don't like that.
They're horrible at
It's
everything.
not, is it, chores aren't for what you like.
Yeah,
Do you
but
think
then you have to oversee it, and it becomes like where it's
A chore for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Harder.
It's harder for me to ask them to try to do this because I got to help
This is
them.
why kids don't have skills.
Nah, I know.
Do you think
I'm
that
the
I'm good
problem
in here or decent? Do you think I'm a good editor and I'm on task, right? I think you guys would all agree I'm okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I do my thing. I don't mess up.
Fast, efficient.
But my dad, no matter what, I think that I mow grass well. I wonder if it's generationally. No matter how I mowed the grass, I always mowed it wrong. You know what I
Because
mean?
it wasn't his way.
Well, he wasn't that much of he certainly wasn't a stickler, or anything, but I just think that if they got there and started manipulating your plants, like if you gave them hey, you got to plant these 10 plants for me this way, and you showed them, no matter how good they did it, I think generationally, and because you're their dad, you're going to find fault. You're going to find something wrong with it.
Well,
That's the way it felt with my dad.
I'd be fine with them just going out. I'm trying to get them to put their wet towels, hang them up or whatever, and I just leave them on the floor. Their clothes, when they get changed for school, I just leave it on the floor. And so, I'm just trying to get the basics done. I can't even imagine a day where they'll be doing their laundry.
Oh man,
or
you gotta whip it into shape now because when they're teens, it's gonna be so much worse.
Now,
teenage boys.
Andrea and I just found this out, and this is where grandma's wise old grandma, right? They know the tricks. we're talking to Maisie the next day after going out to the Improv. We got in late, you know,
Yeah.
and Maisie's like, I'm like, what'd you do with Vive? That's what she calls her grandma. What'd you do? She's like, I did her laundry. She had me take the wet panties and put them in the dryer and move in her clothes. I'm like, how the hell did you do that, Vive? That's magic, right? It's amazing what kids will do for their grandparents. They love some grandparents.
But they'll also, and when they suggest it, they're like, "Oh, this sounds fun." And when I suggest anything that sounds like work,
I know.
my
Why
kids are
is
like,
that,
I
though?
don't want to do that. I don't know. Stupid kids.
I know. That's why I look at Maisie. I go, "You want to take a bike ride?" She's like, "No." And then Vive will come in and we're like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah.
you want to walk to Public?" "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Whoa.
It's
Hold
just-
on a second."
Their first response to us is they don't want to do it, but others they're fine with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, dad talk. All right. Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer here. Nobody else in the studio today, but hey, stop on by tomanddan.com. Get yourself some merch, or maybe even sign up to be a BDM member. It supports the show. It's the easiest way to support the show. It's kind of like when PBS does their member drives to truly support the station and keep the products I guess shows and different things that they have on there running. Well, this is the easiest way you can support us is by becoming a BDM member. Just go to tomanddan.com/registration. Easy way to sign up with a love meter. You can give us as little as $1.95, or if you're doing really, really well and, no recession here, you can give us $10.95. And
Throw us some coins.
And we will love you forever. Just tomanddan.com/registration.
And we do free BDM parties, and that, like, for instance, one coming up in a month is a beach party, and if you want to, get the invite, we sent the invite out to all BDMs. We'll send it out again, and all the information's our BDM Facebook page. So, you get access to that. We're going to be doing a lot more BDM-only stuff. It's kind of make up for 2 years of not doing it.
Yeah, very, very fun. So check all of that out. Let's do voicemails and emails. This is something that I don't think I've ever seen. I take that back. I have seen this only one time, and it involves the intern that you and I had, who was known by the affectionate name Chungus Pukamunk.
Okay, all right.
This is the this is the only time that you and I have ever been in a room together where somebody started crying. And I got to see how you react when somebody is like authentically sad and crying in front of you. And believe it or not,
Well, we know he can't console people.
no, he's
so.
actually he actually was not that bad. It's a lot. It's not as bad as you think. He's quiet, but he's not an insensitive, horrible monster. It's not like he wants the person to cry in front of him and it fuels his robot body.
No, I just don't know what
He don't know what to do.
So it's like they're crying. It happened to my niece the other day where I was watching all the kids because my mom's sister and my wife went to that movie Bullet Train or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that.
They were probably reaching into their purse for their bullet trains.
And I was
That's why women go in packs to these movies, right? To see Brad Pitt. Same thing, though. You saw gaggles of women going to see Tom Cruise. Gaggles of women going to see...
I just saw a bunch of bros go see the Tom Cruise movie.
Oh, I saw a
Maverick
lot
or
of
whatever.
ladies going to see Tom Cruise. A lot of ladies going to see old Brad Pitt.
And she fell backwards off of the stool that was, we have like kitchen counter stools.
Oh, I thought you took her up to Friendly Confines.
No. And then I was feeding him lunch or whatever. Then she fell off it backward, like she pushed too far. And,
and it tipped backwards.
Yeah, because they're high. And
high tops are not kids' friends.
And then she fell on the ground.
Oh, my
and
God.
then she started crying. And then so I ran over there. I was like, "Are you all right?" And then she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Is anything broken?" And she's like, "No, nothing's broken." And then she just sat there sobbing on the floor. And then it just stood there. Because I didn't know. It was like, well, nothing's broken. There's no emergency.
While you sob, I will stand here and look away. But I am here in case you need my presence.
Because there's nothing I could do. It's like when Sam twisted her ankle out.
She did not twist her ankle.
Oh, and I broke my kneecap on your
Yeah,
hitch?
she smashed her leg on your hitch, which is the single worst thing you can witness. I hate watching people hit.
It sounded like a gunshot.
It really was loud. I heard it in
I
here.
know.
I ran outside. I was like, "What was that?" And you're like, "My leg."
So
and I just did a plank on the ground.
yeah. So you're sitting on the ground, and then I said,
So
"Are you
bad.
okay?" And you're like, "Yeah, I just hit my leg." So then I was like,
I will
He
stand
said
here.
bye-bye. He walked right into the studio.
While you're standing there, I will stand here also.
Well, also, okay, what am I supposed to do? Rub your back? That was so how awkward that would be if I stood there and rubbed your back.
That's not the move.
No, you
What
don't
am I supposed to
rub,
do?
you
What's
don't
the
rub
move?
on coworkers' back. You just go, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. Is there? You want some
You-
ice?
you
Let
want me
get
to help
some
you
ice.
up?
Let me get you some ice. Oh
yeah,
God,
give me some ice. Yeah. That
Yeah.
all would have been good.
Ice
See how
doesn't do
naturally that
nothing.
came out of me? Do you see how naturally?
People always want to give you ice that doesn't do nothing.
That's what you should say. You know what? That's what you should say. The next time something like this happens and somebody's like, I'll go like, and don't even think about asking me for ice because it does nothing. I'll stand here if you need me. That's what you should do. Well, that's what this is about. So you're not the only person, Tom.
All right.
Hey guys, Ben with a Y here. Hey, on the OG show, you're talking about consoling people who are crying, and it's funny because the first time I was a supervisor, I supervised about 30 people, and one day in the middle of the shift, something traumatic had happened to one of my female employees, and she came up to me, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but she came up to me, and then she just broke down crying. And I'm maybe 2 weeks into this supervisor job.
Oh, man.
And she just broke down and started crying. And I'm just standing there because I don't deal with crying. I don't deal with those emotions. I have a little bit of lack of empathy. It's one of my problems. But I'm just staring at it. I didn't know what to do, because I know we're at work. Obviously, I can't just, give her a hug or do anything weird. You know what I mean?
I don't think a hug is weird. We have
If
made
they're
it weird.
crying,
We've made
I
it
think
weird,
it's
though.
okay, maybe.
We've made it weird now that because there's so many creeps out there. Sam and Tom and I don't talk about this because we are creeps, but Sam and I talk about how many creeps there are out there and how there's. But I think creepy guys are not helping you.
So I'm just staring at her, and all of a sudden another female employee gets up, comes over, grabs her, and walks her into the bathroom
Honey.
and let her get some tissues and stuff like that so she can cry. And I was like, oh, I really failed as a leader when this happened. So I definitely learned from that. I learned that if someone starts crying in front of you, you definitely get a tissue or you get some paper towels or something so they can dry their eyes. But yeah, that was a weird situation. Anyway, love you guys. Bye.
who are you people? And listen, Ben, I love you, but you guys know what consoling people looks like. You've seen TV shows where people do it. You've seen movies where you've seen people in real life do it.
But normally, those
literally
people have
just
sex.
mimic that.
They usually have sex after they're done crying.
Even
the
if you're not
girl's crying.
comfortable,
If you
Yeah,
crying,
this isn't the
you know what you're
transporter.
supposed
This
to
isn't
do.
the transporter, the Asian girl, she's crying, and then
Yeah.
he consoles her, and next thing you know, they're banging.
that's the problem. If someone,
Jason Statham, he cry bangs.
if some female employee starts crying and then I console her for a hug, I
Let
will
me press your breast again.
I
baby.
will
Oh,
lean
yeah.
in to kiss them
note to self: if I have to cry, I will leave the studio.
because that's
You know
what
what?
all I've seen in the movies. I don't know what else to do.
Hey, look, if it will help, and I will say this for anybody working here, you included, Tom. If you're crying and I'm holding you and I lean in to kiss you, if it helps you, on the house. It's on the house.
And I think the reason why it's so weird, I see what you're saying, Sam, is just mimic what you see
Right.
because you see people do it.
But it's easier said than done, man.
But when emotional problems, you can't just be a robot of tissue, because so then it becomes
I brought
awkward.
you
No,
a
but
tissue.
you listen. You're good at acting and improv. You could do it without sounding like a robot.
No, but he can't.
I get uncomfortable when people cry in front of me, but I'm not just going to stare at them.
He can't do it without his pool noodles, though. He comes running in. He's like, all right, I'm ready for some fresh improv. All right, give me a place.
Get your
Give me a
puppet
place.
out.
Give me a place.
So
All right, give me a scenario. Okay, when the doorbell
Mr. Greenie.
rings, I just want you guys to know, I have no idea who the guests for the party are. I have to figure it out.
also tell me what to do.
Give me a tissue.
That's what I tell my wife.
I'll
I'm
get
like,
you
tell me what to do.
I'll get you a tissue or whatever.
Oh, maybe that's the play. Maybe just ask them what they need or what you want them to do.
Yeah, that's normally
Hey,
what
do
I
you
do.
need
Is I
anything?
was like,
what,
man.
what would you like me to do to help
I
you?
think I may have done that with you, or even with you, I'll be like, is there anything I can do? And then you'll be like,
Right.
no. Do you know that I've asked you?
You want to excuse yourself?
I have
go home.
You know, I have,
Like,
I have asked you probably 2 million times. Is there anything I can do to help out? And you'll be like, "No, I got it." You have never asked for help ever.
I don't like.
He
help.
refuses help.
Yeah, he does.
yeah.
Don't help me.
Help is for the weak. That's what I
Hey, write
say.
that down. You got a
Sure.
email? Yeah, let's go email.
Big Chungus shorts.
Oh, right on brand.
You can count my fat ass in for a pair of shorts or two if it helps get the order made. I'm a size 60 or 62 woodwork.
Whoa, 62 woodworker.
What does that mean? They're made. They're like literally. They have to put a structure inside. They have to put like
a
the
barrel.
structure of an ark inside of it. They put like those. They put like those beams from an old ship in there to hold your pants out.
Ribs.
Yeah, because if the walls of these pants collapse on us, we're dead.
60. Oh,
This is when we were talking about doing BDM shorts, but
Well, not 62s.
we were like, it had to be like a pre-order.
We're not going to do 62s.
Yeah, 62.
How much are those going to cost?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's double the material. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 shorts sewed together. Right? It would have to be the price of 2.
62s?
It would have to be.
How do you make those proportionately longer? How do you decide?
Oh, I like it just super wide, super short.
How do you make?
Just covers your ding dong.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like you gotta make them longer too, which is why the
Yeah.
price goes up.
Well, I'm not necessarily
62.
because if you're
Is he
60,
exaggerating?
What's the biggest waist size pants you can get at a Big and Tall? Can you look? that up?
big and tall goes big, but a regular store, I
What's
think.
what you're
I
telling?
feel like it's like 44.
You're
right?
acting.
Yeah.
You're acting
46.
as no 44. I'm a 42, or I used to be.
No,
yeah,
not
I'd be a
anymore.
42. Well, not anymore.
They go 46. I don't think I haven't seen much in the 50s. I like a
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything in the 50s.
That's what I'm saying. When this dude says 62, I think we've hit the top, right? You guys are acting like there's 80s.
I mean, there's gotta be,
There's
right?
no dude that goes to the Big and Tall store and says like, "Hey, got to go get my 80s."
It goes 62, 63, 64 white sheet.
I think I've actually heard Tom Brady say that. 62, 63, 64, 65, white sheet. Hi. Oh, dad joke. Let's try. Whoa, what does it go to? You found it out, didn't you? What does it go to?
The biggest that I found in this big and tall is 112.
No, 112. Let's buy one pair of 112ers and put them on eBay or something. Let's do something fun with a pair of 112ers.
112.
Hanging off your boat like a flag.
112.
I mean,
wasn't that a hip hop group from
Yeah.
the 90s?
They
112?
came to the Kissimmee, what is it, the rodeo arena?
Let's get a pair of 112s signed by
112. They're
112.
coming to town.
I mean, is that as big as I am tall? Like, what is it? You know,
I don't know. That's why I want to order. How much is a pair of 112s?
Hold on.
I'm obsessed with big
Now I'm
people.
looking into when 112's
I've
coming.
always been obsessed with big people clothing and big people shoes. Always been obsessed. If you put one of Shaq's shoes in here, you'd never get it out of my hands. I'd be looking
This
at
can't
it.
be real, right?
How much? I want one pair of 112s.
Oh, hold on, I'm on bigcamo.com. They only go up to 72.
Oh, that's nothing. That's nothing.
I'll be looking into it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You got to call. It's like it gets to a point where it's so big, they're like, call for price.
Right, exactly.
I understand the idea behind wanting to gravitate towards camouflage because you're like, I want to blend in, but it actually sticks out.
Yeah,
Like,
it does.
if you have 112 camo pins, like
the picture of that Russian general. I have that saved on my phone, the picture of the obese Russian general, because
Yeah.
it always puts me in a good mood.
you stand out. Go
You
with
do.
black.
Yeah.
Black will blend in.
Yeah, or just regular dark jeans are fine.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
need
denim.
to do. That's the thing is you don't need to do anything special.
Yeah.
And don't go flowered shirts because fat guys always go flowered shirts, and myself included. When I get bigger, I always go for a flowered shirt or a zany shirt. All you're doing is drawing attention. Don't do it.
And especially not snow camo.
Snow camel.
Snow camel. I'm like,
The snow camo. Like also when I see
Oh,
it,
like the white and gray and black?
yeah, but I'm like, I think you stick out
well,
in snow.
no, when you're wearing snow camo, you look like you're part of the Jabberwockies or something.
You look like you're in 112.
Yeah, you look like you're in a
Yeah.
hip hop group.
Yeah. But I'm like, if you were wearing that in the snow, I'd see you easily. I've been in the snow.
'Cause you're big also, too.
But if it was like this all white maybe, but with like the actual camo print sticks out. Anyway,
It
sorry.
does. Let's try this one. This is actually a really good question.
Tom and Dan and Sam. Hey guys, it's Kenny. I was listening to some old-timey surfer music, and I just noticed you don't hear a lot of the in music anymore. Like, that used to be huge, decades ago.
Kenny, it's actually...
You're also not looking in the right places, Kenny. There's a
And you
lot
would
of
think,
hipster
like, someone
bands
would
will
try to
still
bring
do
it back.
that.
The last time I remember hearing it was the Ricky Martin song. Yes, I know, another Ricky Martin reference. Living La Vida Loca, in the middle of the first...
He's right. It's in there.
Didn't old Ricky get in some trouble recently?
No.
That got dropped.
It got
Oh,
dropped.
really?
But you know what? If your cousin or nephew or whatever says at any point that you had a relationship with him that it was of the sexual persuasion,
They're
it's
underage.
very difficult for me.
No, he wasn't.
No?
No.
It was an adult.
It's very difficult for me to get that out of my head, even if they come back later. and say,
That's what
like,
sucks.
Nah,
is
dog.
like people are going to always like,
Yeah.
and people that didn't read the update are going to be like, "Oh, Ricky Martin's
And he wasn't
a perv."
underage, and he also, this guy's known for being crazy.
Yeah.
Like he's done this before, like years ago, and Ricky was like, "Hey, please stop."
He's just some mentally ill relative.
But I'll tell you, I was really quick to. I was ready to push Ricky
Poor
Martin out to
Ricky.
sea. No, I was ready to push him out to sea.
This is what happens. Though.
I know.
You just read some sort of, and it wasn't
Headline, yeah.
It was just some headline from not even a legitimate news source on social media, and then there's a picture of him, and then the whatever is like, well, Ricky Martin has underage affair with his cousin. I'm like, oh my god!
And it took me 1 second to turn to my wife and go, "Living La Vida, nephew." Am I right? Like it took me 1 second to make some horrible comment dismissing him, pushing him out to sea.
And then before I scroll on, I said, I'll believe this forever. And then I kept scrolling, and then I did.
And nothing's changing my mind.
And then turns out it's all, and you never
know,
see
it's
any
horrible.
retraction or saying,
No.
like, this is not true.
Yeah, people won't share that part. Yeah,
No,
Well, it's not as much fun.
yeah,
It's crazy.
not as salacious.
Man,
Yeah,
remember
how
when we
world-
all thought that Ricky Martin was sleeping with his family members? That was a good time.
It seemed like so
That
out
was
of
a good
character.
time.
I was like, weird. Like, because you never really hear anything bad about
It
Ricky
makes-
Martin for all these years,
Yeah,
right?
and it makes
He made a comeback, too.
Shake Your Bonbon hits a little differently when you think he's talking about his nephew's butt. You know, like you're like, he was not. That's what I'm saying. Did we do voicemail last or email?
I think we did the Chungus pants, the Chungus shorts. So I think it's your turn.
Okay, Chungus pants. Sam's put it in an email request to get a price for some 112s.
All right. It's going to be more.
And the chat room's right. If we're going to do this, we need to buy 112s, but get the shortest inseam. 52s. 48s, if they got them. If they can run 48s, 112s, 48s.
Well, 48.
It's just
5 inch?
elastic pants.
No,
at that
I'm
point,
talking
right?
about like when my pants are like they're like the inseam. They like, what do you need?
Well, not pants. He wants to do shorts.
Right.
Oh,
So-
shorts?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we
yeah,
got to
yeah.
do 5-inch, like, chubby style 112s.
Man, they're going to be real tight on the thighs.
Well,
Yeah. He's doing it again.
Because you can't make the whole of the thighs 112.
Right.
You know what I want to find? I want to find the
Just wear a
skinniest.
skirt.
I want to find the skinniest morbidly obese person. I want to find a person that has like birth
legs,
and
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
an obese
That was like my
potato
dad.
body. It just made me snort.
Like the Despicable Me guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
like I want to find the real life
Oh,
Gru
man, I wish I had pictures.
from Despicable Me.
I
I'm
gained-
telling you, my dad was him.
If I gained 100
He had the nose,
pounds,
everything.
If I gained 100 pounds, I would grow it out.
I think you would.
Yes, because my legs do not gain weight.
You'd be Gru?
I'd be Gru. Because I'd have a huge muffin. I was pre-Gru at 2:15.
You were mid-Gru.
I was
On your way to Gru.
I was on my way full Gru. You were
Gruing.
because I had a huge muffin, right?
Your muffin wasn't that huge.
No,
It never got huge.
I mean, because you're fit
It was
now.
it was 2:15. I mean,
That's not huge, though.
It wasn't huge, but it was all in my muffin. I had the
Yeah, yeah.
same size legs.
I was
You had
180.
a
same legs.
quality muffin.
At my heaviest, my muffin, I think proportionately, not that this is a muffin off, but I was weighing 182. That's a lot, dude.
Well, for 5'5".
5'2" or 5'5". Are you out of your mind?
sorry.
He got offended that you thought he was taller.
He did that on purpose. How dare you? 5'2". That's a big fat slob. That's why I'm allowed to talk about it. I feel like I've earned the right. Big fat slob.
Every once in a while, some BDMs put up the picture of me and you at Cigar City at our fest. And I had straight muffalata, and you were,
round.
185,
round,
5'2".
and a big beard.
Yeah. And they do that, and they
They're
say
trying to humble you.
no, they say it's for like,
Look how far you've come.
Well, no,
Not even that.
they'll just bring it up as like a memory, like, oh, look, it popped up on my time hop, and then I'm
gotcha.
like, you're doing this to bully us.
Yeah, you
You're
really
like,
are.
Yeah, this is a passive aggressive troll here. Like, you didn't just bring this. Like, you see that this is our fattest we've ever been, and you're sharing it to bully us. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Let's try this one right.
And by the way, I don't like memes, but I will laugh at the one where there is a lady with a unfortunate Gru where she has a big muffin and tiny stick legs like I do, and she's at like a fast food place and she's ordering, and then it says, and a Diet Coke for my legs. And it makes me laugh. because she has what I have genetically. I can't put on
We're monsters.
It's unfortunate.
I can't put on weight in my legs. What is that?
I think Tommy's going to have that too.
Oh, he's already
He's
got it.
lanky.
He's lean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Max still way more than him?
No, but Tommy.
Where do you find pants for that boy?
Yeah,
He's tall.
Yeah, he is.
Or he's got to wear high waters.
Well, they all have to be bunched up, like scrunched up at the top.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, and
I
like-
knew kids like that with the bunchy
Yeah. And he wears them
waistband.
high waisted. He was like,
He wears his pants like a gentleman should wear their pants, or right under their T-word.
But I'm just like, why are your pants so high, Urkel? Pull them down a little bit.
all
And he's
real
like, this is where I want them. I have to. They're up in his belly button.
Fortunately for Tommy knows where his waist is. They don't measure your waist.
I know.
You want to wear your sagging pants. Oh, okay. That's what you want. And Tommy wears his pants like a fashionista would. Like your waist is not like where your underwear sits.
And then they'll bully me. They're like, I can see Dad's underwear when he wears his pants.
They're already conservative.
That's hilarious.
Pull your pants up. Get a job.
Yeah. It's. I guess that is embarrassing for me.
I love that at a business meeting, no belt, saggy pants, but at least they're jeans and shoes.
And at least he wears novelty boxers. I like that. You got Austin Powers, man. Those are great.
I can't.
I thought he had the Grinches on today.
Yeah, they're Grinch.
Like, I
It's
can't
too early for Christmas.
pull my pants up that high. It's weird.
Yeah, no changing him either. There's nothing that can stop him.
Anyway.
You need suspenders.
What about when you wear like a suit? Do you
He never
sag
wears
your
a suit.
pants?
He never wears a suit anymore.
I do I do the move where when you're a redneck and with an unfortunate body, you have a big Duke belly, and you have the decision whether to wear
Underneath the belly.
65s on your belly or 31s under your belly and small.
So then everybody goes by their leg waist size. So then you got these construction workers. I'm still wearing 32s. It's
I know.
Goddamn, look at your belly, man.
Wearing tiny 32s with your frog ass. Meanwhile, your giant beer belly is so huge on top.
You look like a lollipop.
And then what happened is that it smushed your legs, so it looks like you're wearing an inflatable Halloween costume. Like, you
look like Big Hero 6. You look like Baymax.
No, he's got a little chunk on his legs.
Yeah.